वर्तमान भ्रम और असमंजस की स्थिति समाप्त होनी ही चाहिए.
Now, in fact, my colleague Satya Vijay also joins us live from Ground Zero to speak to us about the matter. Satya Vijay, कांग्रेस पार्टी के दिग्विजय सिंह ने कहा है कि ये जो डोनेशन का पैसा है जो गायब हुआ है राम मंदिर से, वो एमएलएज और एमपीज को खरीदने के लिए इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है. आरएसएस के जनरल सेक्रेटरी ने इस पे अपनी स्टेटमेंट दी है. आप हमें और क्या बता सकते हैं इस बारे में, सत्य विजय?
जी हाँ देखिए, दिग्विजय सिंह का बड़ा स्टेटमेंट सामने आया है जिसमें उन्होंने चंदा चोरी का जो प्रकरण है उसको लेकर कहीं ना कहीं बीजेपी और आरएसएस को घेरने की कोशिश की है. दिग्विजय सिंह ने कहा कि ये जो लोग हैं, बीजेपी के जो लोग हैं, ये धर्म बेचकर अपनी कमाई करते हैं. उस कमाई से वोट खरीदते हैं, विधायक खरीदते हैं, सांसद खरीदते हैं. इसी के साथ साथ दिग्विजय सिंह ने यह भी कहा कि इन लोगों का जो राम मंदिर प्रेम है वो तब पैदा हुआ जब इनके 2 सांसद बचे थे. साथ ही साथ उन्होंने ये भी आरोप लगाया कि दिग्विजय सिंह ने यह भी कहा कि राम मंदिर निर्माण में उन्होंने भी चंदा दिया था और ऐसे में उन्हें शक है कि उनका भी चंदा जो है वो चोरी हुआ. इसको लेकर वो 5 और 6 जुलाई को अयोध्या जाएंगे, अपने वकीलों के जरिए केस दर्ज कराएंगे, ये दिग्विजय सिंह ने कहा. और दिग्विजय सिंह ने ये भी कहा कि जो राम मंदिर है उसमें आरएसएस और बीजेपी उस दौरान नहीं थी जब ये पूरा ही आंदोलन खड़ा हुआ और इसीलिए उन्होंने इस तरह की बातें कही हैं. साथ ही साथ दिग्विजय सिंह ने ये भी आरोप लगाया कि चंपत राय और अनिल मिश्रा जो हैं उन्हें बचाने की कोशिश की जा रही है. तो महिला कांग्रेस का
जी सत्य विजय, धन्यवाद हम तक ये सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन पहुंचाने के लिए. नाउ व्यूअर्स, शिफ्टिंग फोकस. एन एंटी चाइना प्रोटेस्टर इन न्यूयॉर्क सेल्फ इमोलेटेड आफ्टर raising slogans against the Chinese party, against the Chinese president, and this was a China out of Tibet protest that was ongoing on the streets of New York. Take a look at everything that unfolded.
A 42-year-old man holding a Tibetan flag died after setting himself on fire in front of the United Nations headquarters in New York. The incident occurred at 42nd Street and 1st Avenue. Rangzin, who has lived in the United States for about 20 years, crumbled to the ground in less than a minute after he was engulfed in the flames. About 15 seconds later, a pair of first responders with fire extinguishers doused the flames. Police were spotted at the scene carrying sheets of paper, one of which said "China out of Tibet," a slogan commonly associated with the Tibetan independence movement or contemporary Free Tibet movement. The man was taken to Bellevue Hospital and later pronounced dead, according to the police. Law enforcement are investigating the self-immolation. Officials say they were not able to comment on what prompted the man to set himself on fire.
And viewers, shifting focus to Jammu and Kashmir, the annual Sri Amarnath Yatra is all set to begin with devotees frolicking to Jammu's base camp and getting ready in excitement to go and pay their respects at the shrine, the cave shrine that belongs to Shiva. Now, in fact, in Jammu, devotees have already started frolicking and coming out in huge numbers. Over 400 devotees have already arrived for the first round as Sri Amarnath Yatra opens in Jammu and Kashmir. Take a look at this.
Chants of Bum Bum Bole echoed through Jammu as the first batch of pilgrims set off for the sacred Amarnath Yatra, one of India's most revered religious journeys. Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha flagged off the inaugural convoy from the Bhagwati Nagar Yatri Niwas, marking the formal commencement of the annual pilgrimage. The 57-day Yatra begins today and will continue till August 28th, coinciding with the festival of Raksha Bandhan.
This is a camp where the facilities have been provided for all these yatris, although the number is coming around 10,000, those many of them who have reached through the private vehicles, the train journey, many of them have taken, and some of them have also come in using via these buses that were provided by the administration. But meanwhile, we are also seeing many of the yatris who have turned quite offended, saying that they are not being allowed to go inside the camp because of the registration issues that they are facing, although many of them are staying here on the very road despite the challenging weather. They are not even leaving the place, waiting that when they will be getting a green signal from the administration.
Authorities have made elaborate arrangements for the smooth conduct of the pilgrimage, including accommodations, medical facilities, transportation, and disaster response mechanisms. Security remains a key focus with a multi-layered security grid deployed along both routes.
इसमें काफ़ी फोर्सेस लगी हैं, CAPF, आर्मी, पुलिस, JKP मेनली, और हमने इसमें प्रॉपर अरेंजमेंट किया था और प्रॉपर तरीके से अभी ऑलमोस्ट सारी कार्रवाई आ चुकी है और हमने प्रॉपर तरीके से ये लोग अपने कैंप में जा रहे हैं लोग और प्रॉपर लाइन वगैरह लग के पूरा इनका हुआ है और काफ़ी अच्छा अरेंजमेंट हो गया है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
Security agencies have also carried out extensive area domination exercises and route sanitization ahead of the pilgrimage.
Meanwhile, we are seeing the army in action. The drone systems have been chipped in. They are monitoring the entire tracks, the area where from the yatra will proceed, and also the AI has been given a focus this time. There have been the multiple around 600 CCTV cameras that have been installed that will be monitoring these yatris. So this is the Amarnath Yatra of the 2026, where we see a jam-packed pilgrims number just outside the Srinagar's transit camp.
And that's all that we could wrap for you in this edition of Live in Breaking. Thanks very much for staying with us, and don't go anywhere. On the other side, at least 2 accused have been arrested in the Bengaluru daycare apathy case, and in fact the police has intensified its probe while the prime accused have been sent to 14-day police custody. We're getting you all the details on the other side.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I said that Bhagwant Man's problem is that in the process of covering up one lie, he is lying a second time. So to cover 2 lies, he lies a third time and a fourth time, and now he's in a big trap. He is doing everything possible to save his job, but it's going to become more and more difficult for him. Plus, I think he has some very foolish advisors. You see, this controversy is about a younger Bhagwant Mann. He's about 52 years now, 52 or 53. And the video apparently goes back to the time he was 39 years old. This is a video he's released. Let me first show you the other video, the controversial video. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a picture of Bhagwant Mann at the age of 39. And visibly, over the last 13 years, he's aged. There's nothing wrong with that. We all age. But there's a distinct difference in facial appearance. I'd like to show you a picture of Bhagwant Mann at present, which is about 52, 53 years old. And Bhagwant Mann on the other side at the age of 39, when he was a performer. Well, he is still a performer in a way, but there's a distinct physical difference. A, he's put on a lot of weight. His face is much more puffy. He's older. He's wearing a turban. He was not wearing a turban at that time. Not always, at least. Not always photographed with a turban. And so there's a distinct difference. So if you see the picture of the younger Bhagwant Mann, you'd actually have a blink and miss moment. Is this the same?
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
By the way, viewers, I'm driving in Delhi with Delhi wala boy Aman Gupta, who is too busy waving to his fans than talking to me. Please come down to earth, Aman.
Yes, I am sorry.
You're on my show.
I forgot.
This is not your show. This is my show. Stop waving to your fans. Be modest. Now everybody look.
बात करेंगे।
अरे आप पॉलिटिशियन हो, आप पॉलिटिशियन हो, आप ये क्या कर रहे हो? This is too much.
आपने बोला हम्बल हो, मैं हम्बल हो रहा हूँ। You became very famous during Balika Badhu. At that time, there was a huge amount of fame and focus. Right?
There was.
People must be writing about you. The paparazzi would have written about you.
There were no paparazzis at that time.
You're not that old. Don't
No, I mean it. There were no paparazzi.
You were no paparazzi at that time.
There were no paparazzis.
This has happened now?
This is
There was.
The top headlines today: back-to-back cases of civic apathy comes to light. 2 electrocuted after rain and 1 drowns after falling into an open pit. Two daycare caretakers arrested for allegedly physically abusing toddlers at a daycare in Bengaluru. Prime accused sent to 14-day in custody. DMK versus TVK intensifies in Tamil Nadu. DMK likely to move Supreme Court over TVK minister's comment on Karur stampede. Government orders removal of controversial apps stalling battery vehicles. Apps like BAT-BMS, Lossigy to be removed. RSS gives a first statement on the Ram Mandir case, says that sentiments have been wounded and seeks investigation into the case. All right, viewers, we have the first story of the day. We are shifting focus to Maharashtra, where civic apathy and negligence has killed 3 people so far, and a motorcyclist was also affected by this rainfall, heavy rainfall, where a tree also fell on him. In the latest civic apathy negligence in Maharashtra, a child also drowned. Where in Pune, a 2-year-old Soham Lakhan Kasbe, he drowned after falling into a rainwater-filled pit outside his home, and the pit was one of the 4 that was dug for drainage and allegedly left open without safety measures. Now, Loni Kalbur police have booked an unidentified contractor regarding the matter. In Mumbai's Mumbai area, 17-year-old Alia Muhammad Sajid Chandiwala died of electrocution on Wednesday evening. She came into contact with a live current while she was walking through a waterlogged stretch near her building's Iron Gate. Her family says complaints about voltage fluctuation to torrent power were ignored. Police have booked power officials for negligence. And in another case in Nagpur, Tajpur area, 65-year-old Afroza Begum died instantly from an electric shock while returning from a grocery store. Live current had spread through the water accumulated that was on the road, allegedly due to negligence by municipal corporation contractors and electricity officials. And now in all of these 3 cases, residents are demanding accountability, stricter safety enforcement and compensation for the victims' families as well. I'm joined by my colleague Revati live from Mumbai, who has been tracking these cases in great detail. Revati, we continue to stay on this story. This has raised many concerns regarding the civic apathy and also the administration's negligence. As we were speaking earlier, this was about the apathy and the negligence by the administrations. We know that pre-monsoon checks has to be done with regards to how there should be waterlogged checks, there should be electrocution checks that can be prevented. What is the latest that we're tracking as of now, as more people seems to be affected by the monsoon that is hit in Maharashtra, and these civic apathy like the water pit being waterlogged and electrocution continues to claim lives?
Right, as you rightly mentioned, that the monsoons have hit hard on Maharashtra, and this is the very first spell of monsoon, and yet the condition is already worsened. And in the upcoming days, when the monsoon gets dense and more torrential rains will be recorded, then the situation what will be the situation is the question now, which is raised by the residents here, by the people here, by the public here. Now coming to the incidents which is recorded in last 48 to 72 hours, they are shocking incidents and an example of mere negligence. The most important incident which happened in Mumbai here is that an 11-year-old boy lost his life when he was traveling in his school bus, and a big tree fell on him. Vihan is the name of that boy. And also the shocking part to this incident is that when there was a concretization of that very road where the tree fell, the survey was done, and the authorities knew that the tree was very weak at the root, yet the tree wasn't uprooted and shifted somewhere else. Then who is to be held accountable for this particular incident? Though the BMC officials are suspended for this, but is suspension enough? In considering this incident, other incidents are in a similar way, though there are compensations given or there are suspension made, but is that enough to compensate where a life is lost? 17-year-old has lost her life. A 2-year-old boy in Pune has lost his life because there was an open pit where there was water logged because of the pit which was dug for the sewage water, and there was no security measures. So now the accountability in these matters is still questioned. Over to you.
Right. That's right, Revati. This, in fact, has raised many concerns, and many questions also arise with this matter as to who is responsible for fixing or preventing such cases, and who will be held accountable following such deaths that's occurring in Maharashtra. We'll continue to track this story. Thank you so much, Revati, for joining us on this broadcast. And viewers, we move on to another shocking story that's happening from Pakistan. A close relative of the Pakistan Deputy Prime Minister, a relative that's a grandson, has now been under a major scandal that has rocked, and now according to reports that we're getting, the Pak Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq Dar's grandson has been arrested for kidnap and rape. Pakistan Deputy Prime Minister's grandson has in fact raped 2 French and Venezuelan women. Pakistani Deputy Prime Minister's grandson in fact invited the 2 foreign nationals, held them captive and asked them for ransom, and also threatened them that they would sell their organs. This is a latest scandal that has rocked Pakistan, a major scandal where the grandson of the Pakistani Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq Dar has in fact raped, and now police are investigating the case. 2 women of foreign nationals, 1 French and 1 Venezuelan, they met in Singapore in 2025, and in fact the grandson of the Deputy Pakistani Prime Minister arranged the visas for them, and upon arrival they have been held captive, and there have been many accomplices to this, as the reports are saying they have been gang raped in this, and also they were held captive for a very long time, and in fact they were threatened that their organs would be sold if any word occur regarding this. This is a big scandal that has rocked the Pakistan government. This the grandson of the Pakistani Deputy Prime Minister being arrested. I'm now joined by Gursimran, who has more details into this. Gursimran, this is a major scandal that's happening in Pakistan government, and in fact the police have arrested the grandson, but the question remains, will the justice be provided, because this is a person very in close proximity to the Pakistani government and now charged with rape and ransom, and also there have been threats as the victims claim that their organs would be sold. This is a major story that's developing. What's the latest? Can you add more into that, Gursimran?
See, justice has been the first casualty when it comes to high-profile cases in Pakistan, especially linked to those at the helm of affairs and holding the powers. This we have seen in the number of instances that have been reported. Now coming to this instance that involves the grandson of Ishaq Dar, the foreign minister and the deputy prime minister of Pakistan. He has been identified as Mohammad Raza Dar, and important to mention that this all started from the last year. It was the last quarter of 2025 when Raza Dar went to Singapore, and he met two foreign nationals. One of them was from Netherlands, and second from Venezuela. And then over some 7 months' time, they exchanged the WhatsApp messages, some communication they had over internet, after which they were invited to Pakistan by Raza Dar. Being from an influential family, they came to Pakistan. All the arrangements were made by Raza Dar, but then all of a sudden they were taken hostage, they were held captive, and then they were threatened of even their organs being sold after the threats of killing them. Now the FIR has been registered for kidnapping as well as the sexual assault. Now 5 accused in total have been arrested. There are allegations of the gang rape also. Now they have been apprehended, including the prime accused, the grandson of the Pakistani deputy prime minister and the foreign minister Ishaq Dar, and now the investigation is underway. But yes, the main question remains to be whether there will be justice that will be served, or like other cases in Pakistan, the high-profile cases, this also will be put under the carpet.
Thank you so much for all of those inputs, Gursimran, and we'll continue to track this story and get back to you as it develops. And now, viewers, we shift focus to another horror shocker that happened in Bengaluru, a child daycare. The videos have surfaced of childcare service providers abusing the toddlers that are barely 5 years old. And in the latest that we're tracking, a main accused, Vijay Lakshmi, has been arrested with regards to the child daycare horror center. The center has been closed for now, and in the latest that we're tracking, the 5 more have also been booked under the Juvenile Justice Act with regards to this, and with physical abuse being surfacing on this story. And in the latest that we're tracking, the prime accused Vijay Lakshmi has been arrested and was produced before the court, and the court has remanded the accused to 14 days of judicial custody. The police are also investigating the role of other staff members who were present at the daycare during the incident. Now, investigators are verifying who was on duty at the time when the incident happened and whether anyone else was also involved or did fail to report the alleged abuse, and how long that has been going on in the center. The investigation is continuing and further action is likely based on the evidence gathered. In fact, Republic has also spoken to the whistleblower in this incident. Let's listen into that.
प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है वीडियो वो बच्चे के लिए ऐसा डरा रहा है मंजुला और उसका साथ में 4 आदमी मेरे को तो कॉल किया था ऐसा हो रहा है करके हमें तो बोला ठीक से ऐसा वीडियो करो करके हम बोला है उसलिए पहले इनको तो उन्होंने अपोजिट लड़ दिया है क्या बात है लड़ दिया हमारा मम्मी तो उनको पूछे ऐसा तुम बच्चे के लोग वैसा नहीं करना अभी किया तो थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा कुछ को बताए तो पेरेंट्स लोग हुए तो हमने हल्डाएगा करके बोला तुमको उसमें नहीं चाहिए तुम आराम से कैसे आ रहा है उसको काम देख के चलो करके बोला वो पूछ के नेक्स्ट डे मेरा मम्मी को अपोजिट लेटर दिया है सर तुम काम से नहीं चाहिए करके उसका हायर ऑफिसर आके बोला है ऐसा ये आंटी ऐसा नहीं है ठीक है करके वो बोल के अभी तो उनको भी पता नहीं इनको काम से निकाला लिया ऐसा इंसिडेंट सब भी चल रहा है सर अंदर।
आपका मम्मी पहले कहाँ पे काम कर रहे थे?
नहीं इसका पहले कुछ अपार्टमेंट में काम कर रहा था वो कोई रेकमेंड लिए उधर बेबी केयर को गया था 1.5 मंथ तो अभी काम को जाके
सिर्फ 1.5 महीने के पहले शी जॉइंड द कॉर्पोरेट कंपनी का डे केयर
1.5 मंथ में आया था।
ये इंसिडेंट कब हुआ
सर? ये तो हमको उन्होंने वीडियो लिया डेट 21, 22, 23 3 दिन में लिया सर।
21 ऑफ जून
नेक्स्ट
लास्ट मंथ 21 जून का वीडियो है ये
वही सर 21, 22, 23 3 दिन वीडियो हम बनाए हैं मम्मी बनाया तुम वीडियो लो हमें तो कानून रीति जाएंगे करके हम बोल के वीडियो लिया था सर।
ठीक है, 3 दिन का वीडियो में एक ही बच्चे थे, नहीं तो
अलग अलग है। वो 3 लोग बच्चा है, 2 लेडी है, 1 जेंट्स है। वो जेंट्स के लिए क्या करता है, पानी मारता है शावर में था फेस के लिए, और 2 बच्चे के लिए क्या करता है, वॉशरूम में डालता है। वो तो मम्मी मम्मी करके वो साउंड करता है, तब ये लोग देख के वीडियो कर रहे थे।
ठीक है, अगर आपका कंप्लेंट कॉपी में है टॉयलेट का गन मुंह में डाल रहे थे, वॉशिंग मशीन के अंदर बिठ रहे थे,
वीडियो है सर।
टॉयलेट गन का भी वीडियो है?
हाँ वीडियो है, वही वीडियो ऑलरेडी चाइल्ड ऑफिस को दिया है, वो तो कानून रीति वो कर रहा है सर।
अभी वीडियो है 21, 22, 23 का, और उनका आपका मम्मी और सुपरवाइजर का बात क्या हुआ?
सर बात कुछ नहीं हुआ, ये तो उनको पूछा है ना, ऐसा बच्ची के लोग ऐसा नहीं करना, तुम ऐसा करे तो कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा करके बोला है। तो वो नेक्स्ट डे मम्मी का पर गलाटा कराया, वो तुम 24 तुमसे काम से निकालने आगा करके, ठीक है कल एक दिन तुम आओ करके वो बोल के 1 दिन किया। वो 1 दिन में अपोजिट लट दिया है, दे के उनको काम से निकाल ले रहे सर।
उन लोगों को पता था क्या आपका मम्मी वीडियो कर रहे हैं?
नहीं, उनको तो मालूम नहीं वीडियो किया, तो वो वीडियो तो सीक्रेट इधर से रख के हमें तो वीडियो कराया, तब वो 3 दिन वीडियो कराया सर।
26 आपका मम्मी का लास्ट वर्किंग डे,
लास्ट डेट है। वो दिन भी पेमेंट डाल दिया वो लोग, वो पेमेंट का डेट है 15th है। 15th का पहले ये क्या करता, मंजुला बोलता है तुम वीडियो किसको भी नहीं देना, उसको तुम्हारा पेमेंट हो तो आज ही डाल दिएगा करके पेमेंट डाल दिया है। वो तो एक ही वीडियो उन्होंने शेयर कर लिया सर
मंजुला।
हाँ मंजुला
कैसे?
वो तो अपोजिट लेटर हमारा बेटा के लिए भेजो करके हमारा मम्मी दे रहा है, वो तो क्या कर रहा है, वो तो नहीं भेज रहा है। उसका ये वीडियो देख के वीडियो शेयर करके नेक्स्ट डे क्या करता है, इवनिंग 4 o'clock वीडियो फ़ोन देता, वो फ़ोन में देखे तो मंजिला एक वीडियो ट्रांसफ़र कर लिया सर।
वो असॉल्ट और अब्यूज़ का वीडियो आपका मम्मी का फ़ोन से मंजुला का फ़ोन को गया था?
हाँ गया है, वो एक वीडियो गया है, उसका पहले 2 वीडियो हमारा पास है, टोटल 3 है। 3 में एक उसमें कोई मिस हो गई ले लिया है, और 2 वीडियो हमारा पास है, वो 3 भी मिला के हमें ऑफिस में दिया सर।
ठीक है, आपका व्हेन डिड यू कंप्लेन टू द चाइल्ड प्रोटेक्शन ऑफिसर?
सर वो दिया, कानून क्या है वो करेंगे करके।
कब दिया
सर? वो थर्सडे कॉल किया था उनको, थर्सडे कॉल करके ऐसा वीडियो है सर करके, वो इमीडिएटली शेयर करो क्या। मैं उनको पूछा सर पक्का वही ऑफिस है ना, तुम हमको कानून नीति करेगा ना, तुम कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं करेगा ना करके बोल के वीडियो दिया है, वो तो कानून नीति कर रहा है सर। हाँ वो वीडियो
अभी FIR हुआ है HL में, 5 लोगों का बारे में FIR में नाम भी है। एक आदमी अब्सकॉन्डिंग है और वो मंजुला है।
वही मंजुला है सर, वही मेन सुपरवाइजर वही है, मेन वही है आदमी से, वो तो अपस्टैंडिंग में है। वो तो बोल रहा है सबको यही कर रहा है, वीडियो चुपके फाइल ये करके बोल रहा है। वो तो मंजुला अपस्टैंडिंग हो गया ना, वही तो वीडियो वही, वो अक्यूज फर्स्ट वही है सर, मंजुला वही है A1, वही सब प्रॉब्लम क्या है, उसको डिस्टर्ब होता, ऐसा बच्ची रो है तो डिस्टर्ब होता करके ऐसा हम करता है करके बोल रहे सर।
ठीक है, अभी योर मदर हैज़ बीन ब्रॉट टू द पुलिस स्टेशन, हैज़ द पुलिस इन्फॉर्म्ड यू एज टू व्हाई शी हैज़ बीन ब्रॉट?
इंक्वायरिंग करना करके बोल के लेके गए सर, अभी तक कुछ पता नहीं है, अंदर है कुछ क्या चल रहा करके हमको पता नहीं आ रहा।
ठीक है, what do you feel? Was there any fights between your mother and the people working there? कुछ झगड़ा हो रहा था क्या इन लोगों के साथ और आपका मम्मी के साथ?
नहीं कुछ नहीं सर, आराम से है। वो वीडियो कब पूछे ऐसा नहीं करना तुम करके, तब से इनको झगड़ा कर रहा है वो लोग, इनको काम से निकालना करके, निकाले तो ये सभी प्रॉब्लम पता नहीं हो जाएगा बाहर करके उनका प्लान है। बस उसका पहले हमारा पास वीडियो होता है सर, वो इनको कब से कर रहा है वो तब से हमारा पास वीडियो होता।
और कितना वीडियो है आपके पास ऐसा वाला?
सर वही है, अभी 3 था, 3 में उन्होंने 1 ले लिया, वो उसमें 3 वीडियो में 2 डिलीट किया था, वो 1 मिस हो गया सर, कहीं मिस हो गया वो ले लिया।
आपने बताया सिर्फ 3 वीडियो है, और अभी ये जो वीडियो मीडिया के आने के पहले ही सोशल मीडिया में आया था, कैसा है
वो? कैसा है पता नहीं सर, हम कानून नीति किया है और चाइल्ड ऑफिस को हम इन्फॉर्म किया, उनको वीडियो भेजा है, वो कौन मीडिया को दिया करके हमको मालूम नहीं है सर, वो कैसा गया हमको मालूम नहीं, वो हमें तो कानून नीति कर रहा है।
ठीक है, so this is Gautam, who mentions the fact that his mother was working at this private office for the last 1.5 months, and she got to know, she witnessed several of these instances over a large period of time, and it was on 21, 22 and 23 of June that she recorded all these videos after her son asked her to do so, and she also tried to convince the supervisor as to not to do this for the infants, and this might have a huge hit on their mental status, after which she was kicked out from her services on 26th, and now she is stationed at the HL police station, where she is being questioned by the HL police officers as to how she recorded the video and her intentions of recording the video. So we will have to see how the law takes course in the next couple of days and what might unfold in the next couple of days as well. I'm Abhishek BB reporting with video journalist Manjunath KS for Republic TV from Bengaluru.
And now, viewers, we are shifting focus to Iran. The former Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was killed in the US airstrikes in February. His funeral is being observed today, and in the process where several international delegates have arrived to participate in the farewell ceremony for former Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. These are live visuals. His coffin was brought to Tehran, and a final farewell by the people and international delegates have also arrived right now to bid farewell to the former Iranian Supreme Leader who held the power in Iran for many years. And these are live visuals from Tehran. His coffin was brought to the capital city in Tehran, and also earlier he was also brought to the site where he was killed in a final poetic goodbye for the Iranian leader. Now, international delegates have begun to arrive for Ali Khamenei's funeral, and Indian delegates have also reached this site to pay the last respects in Tehran.
اعضای محترم هیئت دولت و مقامات عالی رتبه کشور عزیزمون ایران بودیم که برای آخرین دیدار و وداع با پیکر مطهر رهبر عظیم.
However, we are also getting reports that Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's son, Mojtaba, will not be present at the incident, citing security concerns. However, several other international delegates are present. We can see Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi on the scene. They're present with among Iranian leaders at his either side of him. We can also see Masoud Pezeshkian on the screen there, present for the live final farewell to the former Supreme Leader of Iran. These are live visuals. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed in February as the Israeli-US airstrikes hit Tehran, as it launched many airstrikes in the capital city where he was stationed at, and the airstrikes ultimately killed him in the final week of February, when the war between the two nations broke out, and that led to this widespread of war in the West Asian region. And these are top leaders of the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's funeral, and many religious scriptures are being also cited on this occasion. We can see top leaders, international delegates being arrived, and a mourning ceremony being observed, a final farewell to the leader. And also, this is being observed as a mass funeral, and we're getting reports that there would be a week of mass funeral events with regards to the ceremony. And the body of the Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, he was lying in a state of a vast hall in Tehran, and many clerics and officials and many foreign dignitaries and other mourners paid their respect after his 37-year rule. And decades he had a grip in Iran and ruled Iran, and now a mass funeral procession was also carried out on this. Well, at the start of the 4-month war, he was killed in the US-Israeli airstrikes, and his body, Khamenei's body, was expected to be taken to Qom, Nazaf and Karbala as well. These are some Shiite centers of Iran and Iraq, and this is a mass funeral observation. And now a week of observation will be carried out, and many clerics are being gathered, including foreign delegates in this. And after a week of observation, the leader would be laid to rest. And now, viewers, we shift focus to another story that we're tracking. A China Out of Tibet campaign. Out of the UN headquarters in New York, a man self-immolated with the sign China Out of Tibet. A man self-immolated. These are some of the visuals that we're tracking. Let's take a look at this report.
A 42-year-old man holding a Tibetan flag died after setting himself on fire in front of the United Nations headquarters in New York. The incident occurred at 42nd Street and 1st Avenue. Rang Zin, who has lived in the United States for about 20 years, crumbled to the ground in less than a minute after he was engulfed in the flames. About 15 seconds later, a pair of first responders with fire extinguishers doused the flames. Police were spotted at the scene carrying sheets of paper, one of which said "China out of Tibet," a slogan commonly associated with the Tibetan independence movement or contemporary Free Tibet movement. The man was taken to Bellevue Hospital and later pronounced dead, according to the police. Law enforcement are investigating the self-immolation. Officials say they were not able to comment on what prompted the man to set himself on fire.
And now, viewers, with that we come to the end of this bulletin, but we'll continue the story on the other side, as after the break we continue to track the story of the Bengaluru daycare horror, where one prime accused has been arrested and 5 booked in under the Juvenile Justice Act. We're getting all of this and more coming up after a short break.
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम। AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाए जीरा से MTH का जलजीरा जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा आर्थिक मसाला।
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk tonight about an incident where an FIR got registered against 4 people. This is an incident which has happened in Madhya Pradesh, in Ujjain, and there is this strange video which shows a van suspended about 40 feet in the air. And it's suspended with a crane, some kind of a huge big crane. And there are explosives which are put inside this van, and then the van is detonated. Watch this very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. This is apparently during a Muharram procession, where the organizers fill a car with explosives, lift it 40 feet in the air with explosives, put a slogan on the vehicle saying, "Le fir aage," which means, "Look, we are back." And then they explode the van. And at that point of time, there are posters put, there's a lot of mayhem. It's also seen in the video that there are 2 people who are waving red flags before the blast, and the car is detonated mid-air amidst the spectators. There are videos from an Instagram account which also show a young man performing other explosion-related stunts, such as filling a drum with explosives and blasting it. And there are intense explosives used out there. This is all a celebration of explosions. These are not fireworks, let me tell you this, viewers. Now, the police arrested the accused, and there was a procession of the accused also taken out. The accused identified as one Shoaib, Zahid Khan and Taslim. Shoaib organized the event, and Zahid and Taslim were the ones waving the flag while standing on the vehicle before the vehicle was blown up. This is what has happened. And this is the strangest and most
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार।
विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I said that Bhagwant Man's problem is that in the process of covering up one lie, he is lying a second time. So to cover two lies, he lies a third time and a fourth time. And now he's in a big trap. He is doing everything possible to save his job. But it's going to become more and more difficult for him. Plus, I think he has some very foolish advisors. You see, this controversy is about a younger Bhagwant Mann. He's about 52 years now, 52 or 53. And the video apparently goes back to the time he was 39 years old. This is a video he's released. Let me first show you the other video, the controversial video. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a picture of Bhagwant Mann at the age of 39. And visibly, over the last 13 years, he's aged. There's nothing wrong with that. We all age. But there's a distinct difference in facial appearance. I'd like to show you a picture of Bhagwant Mann at present, which is about 52, 53 years old. And Bhagwant Mann on the other side at the age of 39, when he was a performer. Well, he is still a performer in a way. But there's a distinct physical difference. A, he's put on a lot of weight. His face is much more puffy. He's older. He's wearing a turban. He was not wearing a turban at that time. Not always, at least. Not always photographed with a turban. And so there's a distinct difference. So if you see the picture of the younger Bhagwant Mann, you'd actually have a blink and miss moment. Is this the same guy, you'd say? We all age. But some people, their appearance changes distinctly between 12 to 13 years. They're almost unrecognizable. And Bhagwant Mann is, fortunately or unfortunately, among those people. Now, what Bhagwant Mann is trying to say is, the guy you see in the pictures, in the sacrilege video, is not me. And he's banking on the fact that he looks different now. Now look at the picture on the left-hand side, the younger Bhagwant Mann. And look at the pictures on the right-hand side, which is the sacrilege video of 2014, 13 years back, of a younger Bhagwant Mann. And now they look much more similar, don't they? In fact, the more you go close up, you'll find it's probably the same guy. Now, Bhagwant Mann's argument can be privately to some people that if I did something sacrilegious 13 years back, why is it being picked up now? His detractors say it doesn't matter. You did something very bad. Now, to cover himself up, I'll go to the second set of pictures now, which will be of the first original video and the video he's released. In the first original video, Bhagwant Mann is seen doing something terrible, disrespectful, and sprinkling alcohol on pictures of Sikh gurus. And that's the original video. Today, for some strange reason, Bhagwant Mann has come out with his own video. And
from Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
The top headlines. Today's back-to-back cases of civic apathy comes to light. 2 electrocuted after rain and 1 drowns after falling into open pit. Two daycare caretakers arrested for allegedly physically abusing toddlers at a daycare in Bengaluru. Prime accused sent to 14-day custody. DMK versus TVK intensifies in Tamil Nadu. DMK likely to move Supreme Court over TVK minister's comment on Karur stampede. Government orders removal of controversial apps stalling battery vehicles. Apps like BAT-BMS Lossigy to be removed. First statement by RSS on Ram Mandir theft controversy. RSS says sentiments of the devotees wounded, calls for strict action. Now, viewers, in a major anti-terror crackdown in Gujarat and Maharashtra, in Madhya Pradesh, I stand corrected, 8 terrorists have been arrested by the ATS. 8 terrorists arrested by Gujarat ATS from Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. We are getting reports that 8 Jaish terrorists have been arrested by the Gujarat ATS, and the accused was associated with the proscribed terror organization Jaish-e-Mohammed from various districts of Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. And this after a major crackdown by the Gujarat ATS, where 8 Jaish terrorists have now been arrested by the Gujarat ATS, and they have been operating, in fact, in both Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. 8 terrorists who have been associated with the proscribed terror organization Jaish-e-Mohammed (JEM) have been arrested from various districts of Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. This coming in a major anti-terror crackdown in several districts in Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. I'm now joined by my colleague Swarnali, who has been tracking these stories and has more inputs for us. Swarnali, thank you so much for joining us. Can you tell us more into how this crackdown took place? We're getting reports that 8 JEM, the Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists, have been arrested, not just in Gujarat, but also from Madhya Pradesh.
Right, Amrita, let me tell you, in a major crackdown by Gujarat ATS, 8 terrorists have been arrested by Gujarat ATS, 7 from Gujarat and 1 from Madhya Pradesh. Now, let me tell you, if we talk about the age range of all these accused terrorists, it is from 18 to 22, which clearly shows that a young brigade of terrorists have been arrested by Gujarat ATS, 4 from Patan district of Gujarat, 2 from Banaskantha, 1 from Navsari and 1 from Devas area of Madhya Pradesh. Now, let me tell you, this comes after the major crackdown in the Raisin attack which was being planned, and Raisin module which was being decoded by Gujarat ATS. After that, this is a major crackdown. And they proscribed, they belong to banned Jaish-e-Mohammed, and now 8 terrorists have been arrested by Gujarat ATS. They have been booked under several acts of unlawful and stringent activities, terrorist laws. So this is a major update right now, and after the investigation of these 8 terrorists, there might be a link that will be unfolded in this entire case. But what is to be noted is that this is young brigade, age ranging from 18 to 22, and 7 from Gujarat, 1 from Madhya Pradesh, which is very important to be noted in a times when various modules are being cracked open by ATS across country. 1 from Gujarat, as we know that Gujarat ATS is constantly behind the drug racket and terrorist modules. This is a major update right now. Back to you.
Swarnali, I hear you mentioned Raisin attack. Raisin is one of those very untraceable compound that can be used in food and immediately kill people, a very poisonous substance. So could you also tell us how did the Gujarat ATS came to know about this particular attack? Were they tracking this particular group for a long time, or was there a tip-off from one of the insider? How did this particular arrest was made? Can you tell us more into that?
Just to correct, I was talking about Raisin module which was being cracked before few months, and post to which this is a major update by the Gujarat ATS, that module of 8 terrorists who are accused to be connected with Jaish-e-Mohammed, which is a banned terrorist organization also involved in separatist activities of the country. They have been arrested by Gujarat ATS, 7 in Gujarat and 1 from Madhya Pradesh. If we talk about the districts, 4 from Patan, 2 from Banaskantha, 1 from Navsari and 1 from Madhya Pradesh. Now, it is to be seen that it is under investigation, and post-interrogation there might be various links which can come across for the further module, and there might be an update to this entire story. We are going to keep you updated. Back to you.
Right, Sonali, thank you so much for giving us all of those inputs in this, and we'll continue to track this story in this anti-terror crackdown. And now, viewers, we move on to another story regarding the Ram Mandir temple donation theft controversy. The RSS has issued its first statement in this, and on this, RSS has said that the RSS General Secretary has said that the whole incident has in fact hurt the sentiments of the devotees and has called for a strict action against those, saying that those guilty should be brought to justice. This is in regards to the Ram Temple donation theft controversy, where 8 of those accused have been sent to judicial custody and several investigations still being carried out, police conducting raids in the residence of those accused. And we also have the statement of the RSS General Secretary in this regard. Let's take a listen to that.
दान पात्रों में जमा राशि की चोरी के दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना से समूचे समाज और राम भक्तों को भावना एवं श्रद्धा को आघात पहुंचा है तथा इस घटना से हम सभी आहत हैं। श्री राम जन्मभूमि तीर्थ क्षेत्र न्यास के आग्रहपूर्वक निवेदन पर उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार ने विशेष जांच दल का गठन कर उसकी अनुशंसा पर कानूनी प्रक्रिया प्रारंभ की है। जांच में जो भी दोषी पाए जाएंगे उन्हें कठोर दंड हो यह सुनिश्चित करना आवश्यक है। राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ सहित संपूर्ण हिंदू समाज की न्यास से स्वाभाविक ही अपेक्षा है कि इस घोर निंदनीय घटना को असाधारण मानकर गंभीरता से व्यवस्था एवं संचालन की सभी कमियों को दूर करने हेतु परिणामकारक कदम उठाए ताकि अयोध्या मंदिर पर करोड़ों राम भक्तों की आस्था व श्रद्धा अखंड एवं अटूट बनी रहे।
And now, viewers, we are also joined on the phone line by renowned author Dr. Ratan Sharda. And thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Sharda, on this. And I would like your comments. And now, with the Ram Temple donation theft controversy, the RSS has finally spoken out on this as well. And they have also called for strict action, a stringent action against those who are guilty and responsible for carrying out this theft as on the temple donation. What are your comments on this latest developments that's coming in?
See, first of all, for people to expect RSS to give immediate and reaction is never RSS nature. So RSS has given its response after carefully looking at the entire episode and what's happening so far. And anybody should welcome this statement. RSS does not follows every law and believes in moral, ethical grounds for every kind of activity. So this particular statement is in line with that thinking that whether it's whoever the people, including its own the Sangha ideological Parivar people, if the management has not been done properly, there are mistakes, they have to be removed very strongly, and also demand for asking strict action is also in line with how RSS looks at ethical values and moral values, and I think this should restore some confidence in people of the mind of the people that there is nothing wrong with the approach towards Ram Mandir, the high standards expected are there. Slippage has happened and slippage has to be removed with full firmness and very strongly.
And also, sir, I'd like your comments on how this has also turned and evolved into a political battleground. Now, we have also heard a few days ago the UP Chief Minister saying that a strong crackdown will be taken place, and he also said that there will be no compromise. This is the stance of the UP government. And well, several opposition have also attacked by taking this instance and in trying to attack the government. So will this turn out into a larger political battle in UP, the Ram Temple controversy that we are seeing as of now?
See, it was very hypocritical of the opposition people who never believed in Ram, who never believed in existence, never supported the Ram Janmabhoomi agitation. In fact, they were the people who fired upon the Ram Bhakts, and these are the people who ridiculed Ram in the court. They denied the history and even refused to visit the mandir for last 2 years or 3 years. Today they are asking for coming out as strong Ram Bhakta and trying to create dissension in Hindu society and create doubt about the trust and the people involved in this movement has been exposed that nobody is looking for any escape route. We are all there to see to it that the faith is restored. And the opposition should stop dividing Hindu society, stop playing with sentiments and going hyper over all this. They have a right to speak on these matters. They always speak on every such matter, whether it's Hindu, Muslim or Christian. But just to single out one particular community and one particular instance to show the entire society and movement in a poor light was highly condemnable, and I hope they will understand that they are hurting their own image by playing this hypocritical kind of role.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Ratan Sharda, for joining us on this broadcast and giving us your insights into this matter. And now, viewers, we move on to another story, a major story that's coming in from New York. This is regards to Tibet, big protest, and a man who was identified as Lobgar Rangzin, a 42-year-old, he planted a Tibetan flag on the sidewalk in front of the United Nations headquarters in New York, and he was dressed in full monastic garb as well. And there he carried out the last words in his last protest, China out of Tibet, in a protest against China, and he self-immolated after that. Let's take a look at this report and get to know more story in this.
A 42-year-old man holding a Tibetan flag died after setting himself on fire in front of the United Nations headquarters in New York. The incident occurred at 42nd Street and 1st Avenue. Rangzin, who has lived in the United States for about 20 years, crumbled to the ground in less than a minute after he was engulfed in the flames. About 15 seconds later, a pair of first responders with fire extinguishers doused the flames. Police were spotted at the scene carrying sheets of paper, one of which said "China out of Tibet," a slogan commonly associated with the Tibetan independence movement or contemporary Free Tibet movement. The man was taken to Bellevue Hospital and later pronounced dead, according to the police. Law enforcement are investigating the self-immolation. Officials say they were not able to comment on what prompted the man to set himself on fire.
So the Defense Ministry is Ritik ne bheja. And now, viewers, in a big breaking news, we have the Defense Acquisition Council, the DAC, under the chairmanship of the Defense Minister, has accorded acceptance of necessity in principle, approving for the Defense Forces an estimated cost of about 52,000 crore rupees. The DAC has approved acquisition worth 52,000 crore rupees in a major step to enhance India's combat readiness. And now this for the Indian Army, the approval was granted for the procurement of anti-unmanned aerial vehicles, electronic warfare system like the Akash Tarang, and the man-portable anti-tank guided missile as well, and medium-range surface-to-air missile systems and very short-range air defense systems and active protection systems for the tanks and jet-based kamikaze drone systems. A major acquisition for the Indian Army, and in order to prepare for the defense, for the combat readiness, said 52,000 crore rupees has been approved by the Defense Acquisition Council, and this in the latest as India boosts up its defense and combat readiness. And some of the announcements of the approval that was granted for was for the procurement of the anti-unmanned aerial vehicles and Akash Tarang, a major electronic warfare system, and other anti-tank guided missile as well, and surface-to-air missile and other drone system, a kamikaze jet-based kamikaze drone system have also been approved in this. I'm also right. I'm now joined by my colleague Ishan, who has more stories into this. Ishan, I'll get back to you and give us more details into this.
The Defense Acquisition Council has approved 52,000 crores of acquisitions today, including Akash Tarang. Now, this Akash Tarang is a new system that has been designed for electromagnetic wave protection against UAVs for the Indian. This is a made in India system and is being approved for the first time, developed by DRDO and in conjunction with various design bureaus available. This will be a very big step for the Indian manufacturers, and most of the components along with other details of the acquisitions are coming along. Apart from that, we also have acquisition of man-portable anti-tank guided missile systems. Now these man-portable anti-tank guided missile systems are very important because during the recent conflicts and wars we have seen that the most UAVs and most of the unmanned aircrafts and unmanned vehicles that are being used, this is a potent deterrent to those and would provide defense forces a major boost in providing net security to the other machinery and other units that are there. Apart from that, we are also acquiring very short-range missile systems. Now, these very short-range missile systems are the last line of defense against fighter jets and UAVs, and a lot of these were on the purchasing block earlier also, but were not approved. This is the time that they got approved, and now we'll be seeing them also being added to our defense systems. The Indian Air Force is also getting a fixed wing pseudo-satellite. Now these pseudo-satellites are very important because they have the ability to cruise at altitudes of up to 100 kilometers in the air, and they can cruise using solar and wind energy for up to 100 days. They provide critical ISR capabilities to the Indian Air Force, and all of this being purchased in this version of the DSE. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Ishan, for giving us all of those details, and we'll continue to get back and track on this story that has been approved by the Defence Acquisition Council on the India's combat readiness. And now, viewers, we move on to another major boost for the India's defence and Indian Navy this time, as this comes against on the visit of the Indo-Japan friendship ties. And now, a unicorn warship project has been approved by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Japanese Foreign Minister Yoko Kamikawa. And the unicorn warship project will be in charge of producing many stealth warships. This will be a big boost for the Indian Navy as well. Let's take a look at this report.
India and Japan have officially signed a historic defense agreement focused on naval stealth technology. This marks the first instance of Japan sharing such sensitive military hardware with the Indian Armed Forces. At the center of this agreement is the Unified Complex Radio Antenna Project, better known as UNICORN, a next-generation naval mast system designed to transform the way warships operate in contested waters. On any modern warship, the mast is the tall structure that carries antennas and sensors for communication, navigation, radar, and electronic warfare. These exposed systems are vital for operations, but they also create a major vulnerability. Traditional masts resemble a forest of wires, dishes, and rotating radars, each reflecting radar signals back to enemy surveillance systems. This cluttered design increases the radar cross-section of the vessel, making even advanced frigates and destroyers relatively easy to detect and classify. In an age where adversaries employ artificial intelligence to catalog radar fingerprints of individual ships, such visibility is a liability. UNICORN addresses this problem by consolidating all critical systems into a single sleek dome built from radar-absorbent composite materials. Within this aerodynamic structure, engineers have vertically stacked tactical air navigation systems, identification friend or foe transponders, secure satellite communication links, and electronic support measures. This internal arrangement prevents interference between powerful transmitters, ensuring clear and reliable communication across multiple frequencies. The protective casing shields sensitive electronics from harsh maritime weather while simultaneously reducing the ship's radar signature to a fraction of its original size. To an enemy operator scanning the ocean, a destroyer equipped with UNICORN could appear no larger than a small civilian vessel, granting commanders the ability to maneuver undetected. Bharat Electronics Limited will lead domestic production in India, working alongside Japanese firms such as NEC Corporation, ensuring both technological absorption and secure supply chains. The strategic implications for India are profound. The Indian Navy currently relies on legacy communication systems that lack the stealth characteristics demanded by modern maritime combat. With surveillance networks expanding across the Indian Ocean, adversaries are increasingly capable of identifying vessels based on their unique radar reflections. By adopting Unicorn, India denies rivals this digital footprint, allowing frigates and destroyers to patrol choke points, conduct intelligence missions, and secure trade routes with minimal risk of early detection. Local manufacturing ensures that India will not be dependent on foreign imports during crises, strengthening operational autonomy. Japan has already demonstrated the combat readiness of this technology aboard its Mogami-class frigates. These 3,900-ton multi-mission stealth ships were designed for anti-submarine and mine countermeasure warfare, and their most striking feature is the futuristic NOR-A50 mast, the Japanese designation for Unicorn. The Mogami class achieves a radar cross-section exponentially smaller than older frigates of similar size, proving the effectiveness of the unified mast in real operations. Over a dozen Mogami vessels are already in service, giving the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force a formidable stealth advantage. For India, integrating this system into future warships will bring its fleet closer to the cutting edge of naval design, aligning with global trends in stealth architecture seen in advanced Western destroyers and frigates. Beyond stealth, Unicorn represents a broader shift in naval philosophy. Modern combat increasingly revolves around electromagnetic dominance, where control of communication, radar, and electronic warfare systems dictates victory at sea. By consolidating these functions into a single protected mast, India and Japan are not only reducing vulnerability but also enhancing resilience. The modular nature of the system allows rapid replacement, ensuring warships remain combat-ready even after damage. This adaptability is critical in high-intensity conflicts, where downtime can determine strategic outcomes. The agreement between India and Japan is therefore more than a technical collaboration. It is a statement of strategic alignment. It reflects Tokyo's willingness to share frontline technology with New Delhi, strengthening the Indo-Pacific security architecture. For India, it is a leap into the next generation of naval warfare, equipping its fleet with stealth capabilities proven in Japanese service. As future Indian frigates and destroyers adopt the Unicorn mast, they will become harder to track, more resilient in communication, and better positioned to dominate contested waters. In a region where maritime surveillance and power projection are intensifying, this partnership ensures that India's Navy will not only keep pace, but potentially outmaneuver its rivals.
And now, viewers, we turn our attention to West Bengal, where the UCC debate is all set to intensify in the assembly. Now, a high-level meeting will be held today in Nabbanna with regards to the discussion of the UCC draft bill, and also an expert committee that is headed by a former Supreme Court Judge, Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai, will also examine the UCC draft bill before it is placed in the West Bengal State Assembly. Let's take a look at this report.
The West Bengal government has initiated the next step towards framing its Uniform Civil Code, with the draft bill set to be discussed at a cabinet meeting in Nabbanna. The meeting, scheduled for 2 p.m, will be attended by ministers and secretaries from all government departments to deliberate on the proposed legislation. The state cabinet has already approved the formation of an expert committee to examine the draft Uniform Civil Code bill. The panel will be headed by retired Supreme Court Judge Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai, who has been given 4 weeks to study the draft and submit recommendations. According to the state government, once the committee submits its report, the draft UCC bill will be placed before the West Bengal Legislative Assembly for further consideration. The move comes as the Uniform Civil Code continues to remain a key political and legal issue, with several states examining similar legislation. The expert panel's recommendations are expected to shape the final draft before it is formally introduced in the Assembly.
Well, viewers, that's a wrap from me for now, but we'll continue to track more stories for you on the other side, coming up after a very short break with regards to the Bengaluru daycare horror, where 2 have been arrested, the prime accused including, and 5 booked under the Juvenile Justice Act, and the prime accused sent to 14-day custody. Coming up next.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
By the way, viewers, I'm driving in Delhi with Delhi wala boy Aman Gupta, who is too busy waving to his fans than talking to me. Please come down to earth, Aman.
Yes, I am sorry.
You're on my show.
I forgot.
This is not your show. This is my show. Stop waving to your fans. Be modest. Now everybody look. अरे आप politician हो. आप politician हो. आप ये क्या कर रहे हो? This is too much.
आपने बोला हम्बल हो, मैं हम्बल हो रहा हूँ।
You became very famous during Balika Badhu. At that time, there was a huge amount of fame and focus, right?
There was.
People must be writing about you. The paparazzi would have written about you.
There were no.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से। MTH का जलजीरा जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk tonight about an incident where an FIR got registered against 4 people. This is an incident which has happened in Madhya Pradesh, in Ujjain, and there is this strange video which shows a van suspended about 40 feet in the air. And it's suspended with a crane, some kind of a huge big crane. And there are explosives which are put inside this van, and then the van is detonated. Watch this very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. This is apparently during a Muharram procession, where the organizers fill a car with explosives, lift it 40 feet in the air with explosives, put a slogan on the vehicle saying, "Le fir aage," which means, look, we are back. And then they explode the van. And at that point of time, there are posters put, there's a lot of mayhem. It's also seen in the video that there are 2 people who are waving red flags before the blast. And the car is detonated mid-air amid...
Good afternoon, viewers. You're watching Live and Breaking with me, Rakshita Mishra. We're getting you the breaking news. New Delhi has set the record straight on the Indus Water Treaty and given a reply to Pakistan. A strong message to Pakistan sent out by the Ministry of Service Affairs. We're going to break that statement, but first, a quick check of the headlines at 4:30. The back-to-back cases of civic apathy comes to light yet again. 2 killed after being electrocuted. A child dies after falling into an open pit. Bengaluru daycare horror, 2 arrested in the case. Whistleblower speaks to Republic TV, reveals the details of the expose. DMK versus TVK intensifies in Tamil Nadu. DMK likely to move the Supreme Court over TVK minister's comment on Karur stampede. Government orders removal of controversial app stalling battery vehicles. Apps like Lossigy to be removed. First statement by the RSS on Ram Mandir theft controversy. RSS says sentiments of the devotees wounded, calls for strictest action, urges the trust to restore the faith of the people, the belief of the public. We start with breaking news coming in, viewers. The Ministry of External Affairs has responded to the Indus Water Treaty, the conferences that have been taking place, the anti-India conference in Islamabad, and India's position is being, of course, once again reiterated by Mr. Lossigy Jaiswal, the spokesperson of the MEA, saying that the Indus Water Treaty remains in abeyance in response to Pakistan's continued sponsorship of cross-border terrorism. MEA says that Pakistan must credibly and irrevocably renounce its support for cross-border terrorism, that Pak needs to put full stop on cross-border terrorism, condemning Pakistan's actions and making it clear that the Indus Water Treaty remains in abeyance. Viewers, this is the first reaction that is coming in on the Indus Summit. That's the first reaction from New Delhi. First reaction from New Delhi coming in on the story Republic TV has been bringing to its viewers. Republic TV closely tracking the reaction that have come in. The letter of the Pak apologist lobby that also talked about diplomacy and reopening borders, restoring the IWT, lamenting the IWT being in abeyance. The lobby urging that water supply should be resumed. But New Delhi has set the record straight. Let's take a listen into Lossigy Jaiswal.
Siddhant, your question regarding IWT, I would reiterate what we have said earlier as well. India's position on the Indus Waters Treaty is consistent. IWT stands in abeyance in response to Pakistan's continued sponsorship of cross-border terrorism. Pakistan must credibly and irrevocably abjure its support for cross-border terrorism.
Our colleague Chandrakala Chaudhary joining us live on the broadcast, tracking the response of the MEA. Chandrakala, tell us more details. This is the first response after Republic TV has been closely tracking this story, this anti-India summit that has taken place in Pakistan. Chandrakala, this is the first time that the MEA has responded to that news break and, of course, reiterating India's position, India's stance on the Indus Water Treaty.
Yes, absolutely. I think India has again restated its position on IWT. Of course, after what we have seen, Pakistan, there has been threats coming in from Pakistan as far as the Indus Water Treaty is concerned. As we know that India has kept the IWT in abeyance since the Pahalgam terror attack. And this statement by India, this is the first ever reaction after Pakistan has threatened India once again as far as the Indus Water Treaty is concerned. We have seen the Minister of External Affairs reiterating, what India has to say. Of course, India's position on the Indus Water Treaty is consistent. The IWT remains in abeyance in response to Pakistan's continued sponsorship for cross-border terrorism. Yes, a very, very important statement coming in at this moment. Of course, we have also seen a letter being put out by a few citizens from India and Pakistan for resumption of ties, to restore peace talks between both the countries. But yes, we have also seen how Pakistan has threatened India of warning India if they continue to keep the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance, and saying that they would cut off hands if someone dare to touch the IWT. So this is a huge statement coming in from India, restating again and again what our position is, saying that, Indus Water Treaty remains in abeyance as far as the situation between both the countries is concerned, and there will be no change in our position. Pakistan must credibly and irrevocably renounce its support for cross-border terrorism. So yes, a very, very important development as far as this situation on IWT as tension mounts on the Water Pact.
Right, Chandrakala, many thanks for joining us with those details coming in. We'll keep revisiting that story, viewers, on Republic TV. And meanwhile, viewers, we have some more breaking news coming in. This is from Gujarat, that 8 Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists have been arrested by the Gujarat ATS from Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh both 8 terrorists arrested by the anti-terror squad. They're accused of being associated with proscribed terror organizations, that is the Jaish-e-Mohammed, from various districts of Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. So this is the crackdown, and ATS raids several locations of Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. In this case, viewers will display the photographs of those arrested, and this is the visual, in fact, of the arrested individuals, the 8 terrorists who have been arrested by the Gujarat ATS. And in fact, we'll just get more details, viewers. The crackdown on the Jaish-e-Mohammed network continues, and in different districts, in various districts of Gujarat and in Madhya Pradesh, they were attempting to build an active terror network. They were attempting to recruit members and spread the jihadi ideology within the state. These are the names and faces of the arrested terrorists, the 8. How they were they were involved with the Jaish-e-Mohammed, and they were spread across Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh, and pushing for the jihadi ideology. And Swarali gets us more details. Swarali, over to you.
Yes, that's true. Let me tell you, 8 terror accused have been arrested by Gujarat ATS. Now, this comes as a major crackdown, and let me tell you, all 7 are from Gujarat, various districts of Gujarat. On the other hand, 1 is from Madhya Pradesh. If we talk more in detail, 4 are from Patan, 2 are from Banaskantha, 1 is from Navsari, and 1 is from Devas area of Madhya Pradesh. Now, if we look at the age range of all these terrorists, it is from 18 to 22, which clearly signifies that this is a young brigade, brainwashed brigade, connected with Jaish-e-Mohammed, which is a banned outfit, also involved in separatist activities against India. Now, if we talk about the names of these terrorists who are arrested: Ahmed Abdullah, Ibrahim Hussain, Mudassar, Zakaria, Mufti, Muhammad Amin, Muhammad Abdul Rahman, and Bilal, who hails from Madhya Pradesh. This is a major crackdown, as we know that few months ago, Gujarat ATS had also made a major crackdown in the Raisin module, post which, after a few months now, this is a major step taken by Gujarat ATS. It's a continuous effort by ATS regarding drug cartels, drug rackets on the other hand, anti-terrorist activities and people who are involved in such activities. Now that they are arrested, after the interrogation, there's a possibility the further module or racket or a nexus might unfold as the interrogation and investigation goes ahead. Back to you.
Thanks, Swarali, for joining us with the details coming in on that story, the crackdown on the Jaish-e-Mohammed terror network operating here in Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. Viewers, now we'll bring you more stories that we are tracking for you. There is a story that is coming in, viewers. A protester who has been identified as Logba Rangzen, dressed in full monastic garb when he planted a Tibetan flag on the sidewalk in front of the United Nations headquarters in New York. He was protesting against China, and then he self-immolated along the busy street during the evening rush. The 42-year-old was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The flag was still in place about an hour after the shocking display as cops investigated the scene. Here's more.
A 42-year-old man holding a Tibetan flag died after setting himself on fire in front of the United Nations headquarters in New York. The incident occurred at 42nd Street and 1st Avenue. Rangzen, who has lived in the United States for about 20 years, crumbled to the ground in less than a minute after he was engulfed in the flames. About 15 seconds later, a pair of first responders with fire extinguishers doused the flames. Police were spotted at the scene carrying sheets of paper, one of which said "China out of Tibet," a slogan commonly associated with the Tibetan independence movement or contemporary Free Tibet movement. The man was taken to Bellevue Hospital and later pronounced dead, according to the police. Law enforcement are investigating the self-immolation. Officials say they were not able to comment on what prompted the man to set himself on fire.
Viewers, the update coming in as far as the Bengaluru daycare horror is concerned. The police have now arrested 2 individuals in this case where child abuse case has been reported from the private daycare center. Prime accused Vijay Lakshmi has been arrested and produced before the court, and she's been remanded to 14 days of judicial custody. Police are also investigating the role of other staff members who were present at the daycare during this incident. Investigators are verifying who was on duty at that time and whether anyone else was involved, or they failed to report the alleged abuse. The investigation continues in the matter. Further action is likely based on the evidence gathered. And in fact, we also have the whistleblower on Republic TV who spoke to us. His name is Gautam, and he submitted the video that captured the child abuse. He sent this video to the Child Protection Department, and his mother Sujata allegedly recorded the instance of child abuse inside the daycare. Listen to what he had to say.
मदर सो व्हाट आर द डेवलपमेंट्स?
सर ऑलरेडी वो तो काम कर रहे हैं बेबी केयर में, वो तो ऐसा प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है। वीडियो वो बच्चे के लिए ऐसा डरा रहा है। मंजुला और उसका साथ में 4 आदमी मेरे को तो कॉल किया था ऐसा हो रहा है करके। हमें तो बोला ठीक से ऐसा वीडियो करो करके हम बोला है। उसलिए पहले इनको तो उन्होंने अपोजिट लड़ दिया है। क्या बात है लड़के, हमारा मम्मी तो उनको पूछे ऐसा तुम बच्चे के लोग वैसा नहीं करना, अभी किया तो थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा, कुछ को बताए तो पेरेंट्स लोग हुए तो हमने हल्डाएगा करके बोला तुमको उसमें नहीं चाहिए, तुम आराम से कैसे आ रहा है उसको काम देख के चलो करके बोला। वो पूछ के नेक्स्ट डे मेरा मम्मी को अपोजिट लेटर दिया है सर, तुम काउंसलर नहीं चाहिए करके। उसका अब हायर ऑफिसर आके बोला है ऐसा ये आंटी ऐसा नहीं है ठीक है करके, वो बोल के अभी तो उनको भी पता नहीं इनको काम से निकाला लिया। ऐसा इंसिडेंट सब भी चल रहा है सर अंदर।
आपका मम्मी पहले कहाँ पे काम कर रहे थे?
नहीं, इसका पहले कुछ अपार्टमेंट में काम कर रहा था। वो कोई रेकमेंड लिए उधर बेबी केयर को गया था। 1.5 मंथ तो अभी काम को जाके
सिर्फ 1.5 महीने के पहले शी जॉइंड द कॉर्पोरेट कंपनी का डे केयर।
1.5 मंथ में आया था।
ये इंसिडेंट कब हुआ
सर? ये तो हमको उन्होंने वीडियो लिया डेट 21, 22, 23 3 दिन में लिया सर।
21 ऑफ जून
नेक्स्ट
लास्ट मंथ 21 जून का वीडियो है ये?
वही सर 21, 22, 23 3 दिन वीडियो हम बनाए हैं। मम्मी बनाया तुम वीडियो लियो, हमें तो कानून रीति जाएंगे करके हम बोल के वीडियो लिया था सर।
ठीक है, 3 दिन का वीडियो में एक ही बच्चे थे, नहीं तो
अलग अलग है। वो 3 लोग बच्चा है, 2 लेडी है 1 जेंट्स है। वो जेंट्स के लिए क्या करता है पानी मारता है शावर में था फेस के लिए, और 2 बच्चे के लिए क्या करता है वॉशरूम में डालता है। वो तो मम्मी मम्मी करके वो साउंड करता है, तब ये लोग देख के वीडियो कर रहे थे।
Meanwhile, viewers, the Child Rights Protection team has reached the spot as the investigation intensifies in the matter. The Child Rights Protection team has taken suo motu cognizance of the case, and they have reached the daycare center for taking cognizance of the matter. And this story, viewers, on Republic TV, we're bringing you all the angles, and it's a case that has in fact shook the nation, and these are horrific visuals that had come in, how children were made to sit in the washing machine, toilet spray being used to. This is child abuse, viewers. You can see the visuals, and now the protection team has reached the spot in the Bengaluru Capgemini daycare center case. And the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights has also taken cognizance of the matter. That's NCPCR, and in fact, they have also written a letter yesterday to Bengaluru Urban Deputy Commissioner to inquire into the matter after the reports came in. And we continue to bring you the more cases that are now coming in as far as the civic apathy, the criminal negligence that is claiming lives of citizens. Now, in 3 tragic deaths in Maharashtra, they are raising questions, and they are not just 3, viewers. In the past 3 days, there are multiple deaths that have been reported, raising serious questions about civic apathy and negligence. Now, in Pune today, we learn about a 2-year-old Soham Kasbe who drowned after falling into a rainwater-filled pit outside his home. You can see the family, inconsolable. Pit was one of the 4 dug for drainage and left open without any safety measures. Police have booked an unidentified contractor. We should focus to Thane's Mumbra, that falls in Mumbai metropolitan region. 17-year-old Alia Chandewala dies due to electrocution as she came in contact with a live wire while walking through a waterlogged stretch near her building's gate. Her family says that complaints about voltage fluctuation to the torrent power were ignored. Police have booked officials, but the life has been lost. In Nagpur, meanwhile, of Maharashtra, in Tajbagh, 65-year-old Afroza died instantly after receiving an electric shock while she was returning from a grocery store. Live current had spread through the water that was accumulated on the road. And all this is another example of the negligence by the municipal corporation and the officials, the electricity department as well. All the cases, viewers, they are causing now outrage among the residents. They're demanding accountability, stricter safety enforcement, compensation for the victim's family. But it does not end with the compensation. These are repeated incidents every monsoon that are reported. And in the first spell of the monsoon, in only 72 hours, we have at least 6 of these visuals from Maharashtra itself. We showed you from the visuals from Junagadh of Gujarat also yesterday. Fatal. This negligence has turned fatal, viewers, for the taxpayer. And viewers, on to the Ram Mandir donation theft row. RSS, who played an important part in leading the movement for Ram Mandir, has issued the first statement after the theft controversy, and the investigation is underway. Now, RSS General Secretary Dattatreya Hosabale says that the incident has hurt the sentiment of the devotees, that the RSS is hurt, and also saying that it is calling for strictest action against those who are guilty, urging the trust to restore public trust, the trust of the people, the faith of the people, and also calling for the Hindu community to exercise patience and restraint. Listen into Dattatreya Hosabale.
दान पात्रों में जमा राशि की चोरी के दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना से समूचे समाज और राम भक्तों को भावना एवं श्रद्धा को आघात पहुंचा है तथा इस घटना से हम सभी आहत हैं। श्री राम जन्मभूमि तीर्थ क्षेत्र न्यास के आग्रहपूर्वक निवेदन पर उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार ने विशेष जांच दल का गठन कर उसकी अनुशंसा पर कानूनी प्रक्रिया प्रारंभ की है। जांच में जो भी दोषी पाए जाएंगे उन्हें कठोर दंड हो यह सुनिश्चित करना आवश्यक है। राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ सहित संपूर्ण हिंदू समाज की न्यास से स्वाभाविक ही अपेक्षा है कि इस घोर निंदनीय घटना को असाधारण मानकर गंभीरता से व्यवस्था एवं संचालन की सभी कमियों को दूर करने हेतु परिणामकारक कदम उठाए ताकि अयोध्या मंदिर पर करोड़ों राम भक्तों की आस्था व श्रद्धा अखंड एवं अटूट बनी रहे।
All right, we are getting an update in the Ketan Agarwal murder case. Both the accused, Sia and Chetan, have been produced in court and they have been sent to judicial custody today in the Ketan Agarwal murder case. Now, the police today sought additional 3 days of custody for both the accused, citing the need for further investigation. They urged for extension to probe the chat records, call details, and now, viewers, the big update is that we can change the breaking. Police has sought, but the judicial custody has been granted. So this is Sia and Chetan have been produced in court today, and they have been sent to judicial custody. The court has sent both of them to judicial custody. We can connect with our reporter to get more details on that. But viewers, today the police had sought extension of the police custody for interrogating the two together to advance the investigation. But the court has decided. All right, viewers, we are getting in a BJP press conference. Raj Trivedi is speaking right now.
और जनता आपका साथ देंगे, यहां तक कि इंटेलेक्चुअल्स की भी बात है तो बस बाहर जाना, विदेश में जाकर और चंद भारत विरोधी इंटेलेक्चुअल से मिलना और भारत में आके आज कांग्रेस पार्टी इस बौद्धिक दिवालियापन पे आ गई है कि उसके पास अपने बौद्धिक विचारक तक नहीं रह गए। ताल कटोरा स्टेडियम में चंद घोषित हिंदू विरोधी तथा कथित स्वयंभू बुद्धिजीवियों को खड़ा करके आप सोचते हैं कि ताली बजवाकर आपको राज मिल जाएगा, तो भारत की प्रबुद्ध जनता अब पूरी तरीके से समझदार हो गई है। और इस प्रकार से जो कांग्रेस पार्टी करने का प्रयास कर रही है, उसके लिए मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि देश की प्रबुद्ध जनता भली भांति समझती है कांग्रेस पार्टी की स्थिति क्या है। ये अपने आलस्य, अकर्मण्यता और अक्षमता के लिए लोकतंत्र को अपमानित करने में लगे। इनकी स्थिति वो है जो आप लोगों ने सुना होगा कि एक आलसी व्यक्ति पेड़ के नीचे लेट जाए, आम के पेड़ के नीचे, आम का सीजन चल रहा है, और मुंह खोल के लेटा रहे और कहे मेरे मुंह में अपने आप आम गिरना चाहिए। और जब आम ना गिरे और दूसरा व्यक्ति पेड़ पे जाकर उस आम को तोड़ लेकर देखो देखो कितनी बेईमानी हो रही है, भाई साहब आप हाथ ऊपर उठाइए। तो इसलिए मैं कांग्रेस पार्टी से कहना चाहूंगा कि भाई उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई, अब रैन कहां जो सोवत है, और जो सोवत है वो खोवत है। आप तो मस्त होके पड़े रहते हैं। आप तो उस परीक्षार्थी की तरह हैं जो परीक्षा में मेहनत करता नहीं है, परीक्षा के समय में सैर सपाटा करता है, इम्तिहान में कॉपी ढंग से भरता नहीं है और फेल होने के बाद हल्ला मचाता है। तो मैं कांग्रेस पार्टी और विपक्षी दलों से कहना चाहूंगा कि संस्कृत की एक बहुत प्रमुख सुभाषित है, वो ध्यान रखें कि उद्यमेन ही सिद्ध्यन्ति कार्याणि न मनोरथे न ही सुप्तस्य सिंहस्य प्रविशन्ति मुखे मृगा। अर्थात कार्य मेहनत करने से सिद्ध होते हैं, केवल ख्वाब देखने से नहीं। सोते हुए शेर के मुंह में अपने आप आकर मृग यानी हिरन प्रवेश नहीं करते हैं। तो कांग्रेस पार्टी और इन दलों के सामने समस्या क्या है? जैसा मैंने कहा कि ये सामंती शैली में अपनी पार्टियों को चलाते हैं, खुद को शहंशाह समझते हैं, अपने कार्यकर्ताओं को कारिंदा समझते हैं जिनकी जान की भी कोई कीमत नहीं, और जनता को अपनी बंदगी समझने वाला बंदा समझते हैं। तो मैं उनसे कहना चाहूंगा कि अब वो दिन चले गए, अब जनता परफॉर्मेंस पे काम करती है। इसलिए मैं पुनः कांग्रेस को चुनौती देकर कहता हूं, वो दिखाएं उन्होंने कितने कार्यकर्ता सम्मेलन किए, कितने बूथ लेवल वर्कर सम्मेलन किए, कितना अपने कार्यकर्ताओं के साथ काम किया। और दूसरा पक्ष, कांग्रेस और विपक्षी दल सिर्फ विपक्ष में नहीं है, आज सत्ता में भी है। मैं पूछना चाहता हूं, आपका सत्ता का मॉडल क्या है बताइए? आप कर्नाटक में सत्ता में हैं, तेलंगाना में सत्ता में हैं, हिमाचल में सत्ता में हैं। जब हम विपक्ष में थे तो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने गुजरात का मॉडल करके दिखाया था, वाइब्रेंट गुजरात शुरू किया था, जो उस समय तक कोई राज्य सीधे इनवाइट नहीं करता था, और आज भी वो चल रहा है। तो पूछना चाहता हूं, आपका मॉडल क्या है गवर्नेंस का? सिर्फ तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति और भ्रष्टाचार, और इसके बाद कट्टरपंथी वोटों का सहारा, अपराधियों का साथ। और फिर मैं विनम्रता और दृढ़ता से कहना चाहूंगा, आप चुनाव आयोग और लोकतंत्र पर तो आरोप लगाते हैं, मगर गांधी परिवार पिछले 30-35 सालों से उत्तर प्रदेश में अपनी अमेठी रायबरेली सीट अकेले लड़ने की हिम्मत नहीं जुटा पाया है। यदि समाजवादी पार्टी समर्थन न दे तो शायद वो अपनी सीट नहीं निकाल सकते। जो अपनी सीट नहीं निकाल सकते, अपनी खानदानी सीट नहीं निकाल सकते, मगर पार्टी को खानदानी जागीर समझना चाहते हैं, मुझे लगता है देश की जनता उनके मंतव्य को भली भांति समझती है। और इसे आप खिसियानी बिल्ली खंबा नोचे कह लें अथवा नाच न जाने आंगन टेढ़ा कह लें, ये तो हल्की बातें हैं, परंतु मैं कहूंगा ये खतरनाक षड्यंत्र है भारत के लोकतंत्र को लांछित करने के लिए। और एक बार फिर जो उस शब्द में लिखा है कि एनार्की बढ़ाने के लिए, यानी अब पूरी तरीके से विक्षिप्त होने के बाद ये हारे हुए दल अपनी शिकस्त का इंतकाम भारत की बर्बादी और भारत के कोहराम में देखना चाहते हैं।
Sir, the opposition parties have also demanded the immediate suspension on the ongoing voter verification system. In this letter, they have stated that ongoing voter verification system should be...
I just want to ask one question. In Kerala, when the local bodies election happened, it was conducted by the State Election Commission of Kerala. Had they found any discrepancy? In any of their state-run local bodies election, when it was done by their own government, has they found any discrepancy in the voter list? which was for the Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha for the local bodies. So this is the problem. And again,
was BJP holding press conference and launching attack on the Congress and the other opposition parties. Meanwhile, we will be submitting a very, very short break, but don't go anywhere. We're continuing to bring you the latest updates coming in the Bengaluru horror case, as two have been arrested. The key accused, Vijay Lakshmi, has been sent to 14-day judicial custody in the case.
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाई जीरा से MTH का जल जीरा जीरा से
जीरा सिप असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MTH
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I said that Bhagwant Man's problem is that in the process of covering up one lie, he is lying a second time. So to cover two lies, he lies a third time and a fourth time, and now he's in a big trap. He is doing everything possible to save his job, but it's going to become more and more difficult for him. Plus, I think he has some very foolish advisors. You see, this controversy is about a younger Bhagwant Man. He's about 52 years now, 52 or 53. And the video apparently goes back to the time he was 39 years old. This is a video he's released. Let me first show you the other video, the controversial video. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a picture of Bhagwant Man at the age of 39. And visibly, over the last 13 years, he's aged. There's nothing wrong with that. We all age. But there's a distinct difference in facial appearance. I'd like to show you a picture of Bhagwant Man at present, which is about 52, 53 years old. And Bhagwant Man on the other side at the age of 39, when he was a performer. Well, he is still a performer in a way, but there's a distinct physical difference. A, he's put on a lot of weight. His face is much more puffy. He's older. He's wearing a turban. He was not wearing a turban at that time. Not always, at least. Not always photographed with a turban. And so there's a distinct difference. So if you see the picture of the younger Bhagwant Man, you'd actually have a blink and miss moment. Is this the same guy, you'd say? We all age, but some people, their appearance changes distinctly between 12 to 13 years.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरी राजा, सबका राजा आरती और मसाला।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
By the way, viewers, I'm driving in Delhi with Delhi wala boy Aman Gupta, who is too busy waving to his fans than talking to me. Please come down to earth, Aman.
Yes, I am sorry.
You're on my show. This is not your show. This is my show. Stop waving to your fans. Be modest. Now everybody look. अरे आप politician हो. आप politician हो. आप ये क्या कर रहे हो? This is too much. आपने बोला humble हो, मैं humble हो रहा हूँ.
You became very famous during Balika Badhu. At that time, there was a huge amount of fame and focus. Right?
There was.
People must be writing about you. The paparazzi would have written about you.
There were no paparazzis at that time.
You're not that old. Don't
No, I mean it. There were no paparazzi.
You were no paparazzi at that time.
There were no paparazzis.
This has happened now?
This is
There was no Viral Bayani then?
Back then, it was just,
What do you mean back then? If you keep talking, I'm over a decade older to you. If you keep saying back then I'll stop driving the car. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean.
What am I then? Back then.
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I said that
This week on Get Me Right, India shows its firm resolve to go after Pakistan-based terror ecosystem with time no bar, as the Jammu and Kashmir police charge sheets Yasin Malik in a 1990 Sarla Bhatt murder case. Second is the politics over the new FCRA guidelines by the Ministry of Home Affairs about convergence or about checkmating anti-India forces. And finally, the third one. Are we staring at the end of globalization as we have known for decades, with the likes of Paul Krugman batting for tariffs, proving Donald Trump right in some measure? Weekend, Saturday and Sunday, only on Republic TV. Broken civic infrastructure and the apathy of municipal leaders is something for which perhaps we don't need more evidence, but still, day after day, as monsoon hits India, reports come in from Gujarat, from Maharashtra, from Madhya Pradesh, from Karnataka, from Telangana, of civic apathy killing citizens. That's our focus all through the day and the primetime debate. Let's start with the headlines. Back-to-back cases of civic apathy come to light. 2 electrocuted after rain and 1 drowned after falling into open pit. 2 daycare caretakers arrested for allegedly physically abusing toddlers at a daycare in Bengaluru. Prime accused sent to 14 days of custody. DMK versus TVK intensifies in Tamil Nadu. The Dravida party likely to move Supreme Court over ruling party's minister's comments on Karur stampede. Government orders removal of controversial apps stalling battery vehicles. Apps like BAT-BMS, Lossigy to be removed. And first statement by RSS on Ram Mandir. Theft controversy. RSS says sentiments of the devotees wounded and hurt, calls for strict action. All right, a scandal-rocking Pakistani government. Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq Dar's grandson has been arrested, and he's arrested for kidnap and rape. The grandson is accused, Ishaq Dar's grandson is accused of raping 2 foreigners, 1 French, 1 Venezuelan. And these 2 women were abducted after they landed in Karachi, is what reports suggest. And Ishaq Dar's grandson had invited the 2 foreigners, 2 women, after meeting them in Singapore. And once they landed in Pakistan, they were held captive, raped. Some reports suggest gang rape. What's the fact? What are the facts? And what's happening next? Let's go to Gursimran to understand that. Gursimran is joining us live from Jammu. Gursimran, these Pakistani reports suggest that the Deputy Prime Minister's grandson is involved in a heinous crime and he has been arrested, which means obviously that the agencies had enough evidence against him.
See, Abhishek, it was the political pressure by the opposition parties as well that led to his arrest. But we know that in the high-profile cases in Pakistan, justice is the first casualty. This incident is of 29th of June when this was reported to the Lahore police, and roughly after 5 days and the political pressure that was mounted, the police has arrested the accused, the prime accused, that is Mohammad Razadar, along with 4 others. The 4 others, they are his, we are told that his business associates that have been arrested. And this started way back in the fourth quarter of 2025 when they went to Singapore and met these 2 women. Both are foreign national, one from Netherlands and other from the Venezuela, and they have been in contact for last 7 months. He invited them using his influence. He got them here, and when they reached Pakistan, they were abducted and then sexually assaulted. There were also FIR reads that they threatened them that they will be killed and their body parts, they will be sold. These kind of threats were given to them, and now the police has registered the case, and all 5 accused in the case, including the grandson of Ishaq Dar, who happens to be the Deputy Prime Minister, and the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, have been arrested. But now it has to be seen how things pan out from here. The police has done the initial formalities, but whether the justice will be served to those foreign nationals that are in Pakistan right now, have been sexually assaulted or not, that is only time will tell.
All right, thank you so much, Gursimran, with those details coming in on scandal rocking the Pakistani government. Ishaq Dar is also the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, and we leave it there for now. We'll come back to it when there is more development. Moving on, the Ministry of External Affairs, in fact, has responded to the Indus Waters Treaty conference that Pakistan held in its capital Islamabad 2 days back. India's position on the Indus Waters Treaty is consistent. The Indus Waters Treaty, or IWT, remains in abeyance in response to Pakistan's continued sponsorship of cross-border terrorism. Pakistan must credibly and irrevocably renounce its support for cross-border terror. That's MEA's position in response to the IWT conference held in Islamabad. Let's listen to spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs, Randhir Chaiswal.
Siddhant, your question regarding IWT, I would reiterate what we have said earlier as well. India's position on the Indus Waters Treaty is consistent. IWT stands in abeyance in response to Pakistan's continued sponsorship of cross-border terrorism. Pakistan must credibly and irrevocably abjure its support for cross-border terrorism.
All right, Chandrakala, our correspondent, joins us live for more on this. Chandrakala, you were there in the briefing by the Ministry of External Affairs. Did you get a sense that this is not just about keeping the treaty in abeyance, but to use that window of abeyance to create infrastructure on the ground with which India can use the legitimate share of the Indus River system waters for its own advantage, which it was not using before the treaty was put on hold post the Pahalgam terror attack?
Yes, in fact, once again, India has reiterated its stance on the Indus Water Treaty, and we have seen that the Ministry of External Affairs coming out with a strongly worded statement after what has happened in the IWT conference in Pakistan. We have seen the constant threat coming in from Pakistan, threatening India over this water pact, saying that whoever touches the pact, they will cut off hands whoever touches the pact. And in fact, this is a very important statement when it comes to IWT. This situation, this particular issues still remain, and of course we have seen that India has once again reiterated what it has to say. India's position on the Indus Water Treaty remains same, and the Indus Water Treaty remains in abeyance in response to Pakistan's continued sponsorship of cross-border terrorism. We have seen a letter which has already sparked controversy when it comes to the Indus Water Treaty, where both,
Right.
leaders from both India and Pakistan, in fact, opposition leaders coming out a part of the signatory saying, that both the countries must resume talks and restore peace. So yes, a very important development, a very, very strongly worded statement by India, once again reiterating its position when it comes to the Indus Water Treaty between both the countries. Over to you.
Right, thank you, Chandrakala, for joining us with those details. Moving back to some domestic stories, probe intensified today in Bengaluru. Daycare horror. Child Rights Protection Team of the NCPCR, the national body dealing with the child protection of child rights, children rights, reach the spot in Bengaluru, and they have taken a suo motu cognizance of the case. These are pictures of earlier video that brought out the tragedy of how these little kids were being treated by daycare givers. And it seems there was also a lack of oversight on the part of the management of Capgemini. They, of course, seem to be washing their hands of it now and putting the entire onus on the contracted daycare givers. Abhishek joins us live for more on this. Abhishek joins us live for more on this. Abhishek, what's the latest you can share in terms of this NCPCR visit? Are they going to question those in the management of the firm, the Capgemini, which is where the daycare center was located, or what's the police telling you about the probe?
Well, with respect to the incident that unfolded in Bengaluru yesterday, we have been informed by the police sources that among the 5 people who were accused, 5 women who were accused, one is absconding, one has already been arrested, and 3 have already started facing the interrogation. They have been sent back to their places after collecting as much information as the police can from these 3 women who are accused in this particular case. On the other hand, the NCPCR has already entered into Bangalore. They are in the campus of Capgemini to interrogate what has happened, to collect the evidence and the proofs, the CCTV visuals, along with they are collecting the information from the parents who had sent their children to the daycare facility in Capgemini campus. On the other hand, we've also been informed by the police sources and various other persons who work with the company that the police have duly interrogated all the personnel who are responsible for holding the decency and the decorum of that particular floor. The managers, the shift managers and the duty managers of the Capgemini have been interrogated by the police. The CCTV visuals along with the records of voice, if any, found on the phones of all these 5 people who have been named in the FIR has also been collected by the HAL police. On the other hand, we've also, when we tried to speak to the Karnataka chairperson of the Women Commission, Dr. Nagalakshmi Chowdhury mentioned the fact that she will not stand by these women for allegedly abusing these infants, be it physically, emotionally, and in any other ways. And she has demanded that a detailed inquiry be conducted in this particular matter and these women be sent behind the bar if they are found guilty. On the other hand, the NCPCR has also taken the cognizance of this offence and they have lodged a suo motu case themselves. They are going to do the fact finding and then go to the then they are going to submit a report to the head office in the union level. On the other hand, the investigation by the HL police intensifies because they have taken into custody Sujata, who is the person who recorded the video on the phone on 21, 22, 23 of June. And these videos were sent to the Child Welfare Committee on 26, and after which these videos started doing rounds on media. And also we've spoken to the whistleblower's son, where he very clearly mentions the fact that he asked his mother to record these videos for sending it to the Child Welfare Committee, and after which she was thrashed from she was sacked out from her working place, that is Capgemini Daycare Center.
Stay with us. In fact, there are more details. I believe our team on the ground, in fact, spoke to the whistleblower In the daycare abuse case, Gautam is the individual who submitted the child abuse video to the Child Protection Department. His mother, Sujata, has allegedly recorded the incidents of abuse inside the center. Let's listen to Gautam, the whistleblower.
Mother. So, what are the developments?
सर ऑलरेडी वो तो काम कर रहे हैं बेबी केयर में. वो तो ऐसा प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है. वीडियो वो बच्चे के लिए ऐसा डरा रहा है. मंजुला और उसका साथ में 4 आदमी. मेरे को तो कॉल किया था ऐसा हो रहा है करके. हमें तो बोला ठीक से ऐसा वीडियो करो करके हम बोले.
All right, we had to come out of it because there is a big breaking development. Meta, the company that owns Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, is under scanner for ads promoting abuse, particularly child abuse. Instagram ads promoting child sexual abuse were monitored, and this has made the Ministry of Electronics and Information and Technology to direct, or the IT minister in fact, who's Ashwini Vaishnav, to direct officials to summon Meta and question them about this situation where their platforms are promoting child sexual abuse. MIT, or the Ministry of Information Technology, now has summoned Meta over Instagram child abuse ads, and have the American company has been asked to explain shocking Instagram ads. For more on this, we are joined in by Harsh. He's joining us live from New Delhi. Harsh, what more can you share? You know, earlier we already had Meta being, asked to submit more details about their WhatsApp username change, and now we have Meta being questioned about child sexual abuse advertisements on their platforms like Instagram.
Very rightly pointed out by you, Abhishek. In fact, back-to-back troubles sinking in for Meta, because now this time it's the IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav himself who has called out to Ministry of Information Technology. In fact, they have summoned the Meta officials for promoting Sexual Violences Act against children on Instagram platforms. And this is something that we are fetching, that the minister himself, the Minister of Electronics and Information Technology, Ashwini Vaishnav, have asked the officials from the ministry. In fact, they have summoned the Meta officials here in India for promoting ads that are promoting child sexual abuse in India. This is through the Instagram platform of Meta. Instagram is an app that is originally owned by Meta. Meta is the parent company that holds the most shares of Instagram, and now we are seeing the minister himself asking his ministry officials to summon the Meta officials here in India for promoting child sexual violence through ads on Instagram. This is a big breaking news. In fact, the minister himself has asked his officials to take this decisive action on Meta officials here in India. Abhishek.
All right, thank you, Harsh, for joining us with those details. So we'll keep close track of those developments also. Moving on for now, and on to the Ram Mandir theft row, where RSS has now joined in and issued a first statement from this is the first statement from the Sangh, and where RSS General Secretary Dattatreya Hosbale has said that the whole incident has hurt the sentiments of the devotees. And the Sangh has called for strict action, saying those guilty should be brought to justice. Let's listen to him.
दान पात्रों में जमा राशि की चोरी के दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना से समूचे समाज और राम भक्तों को भावना एवं श्रद्धा को आघात पहुंचा है, तथा इस घटना से हम सभी आहत हैं। श्री राम जन्मभूमि तीर्थ क्षेत्र न्यास के आग्रहपूर्वक निवेदन पर उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार ने विशेष जांच दल का गठन कर उसकी अनुशंसा पर कानूनी प्रक्रिया प्रारंभ की है। जांच में जो भी दोषी पाए जाएंगे उन्हें कठोर दंड हो, यह सुनिश्चित करना आवश्यक है। राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ सहित संपूर्ण हिंदू समाज की न्यास से स्वाभाविक ही अपेक्षा है कि इस घोर निंदनीय घटना को असाधारण मानकर गंभीरता से व्यवस्था एवं संचालन की सभी कमियों को दूर करने हेतु परिणामकारक कदम उठाए, ताकि अयोध्या मंदिर पर करोड़ों राम भक्तों की आस्था व श्रद्धा अखंड एवं अटूट बनी रहे।
All right, back to the Bengaluru daycare tragedy. Police have sprung into action and where toddlers were seen abused and tortured. Two, including prime accused Vijay Lakshmi, were taken into custody by the Bengaluru police. We have this report with more details. Let's have a look.
Investigation into the Bengaluru daycare horror, a case which has enraged the nation, has intensified. Police have arrested two women, including prime accused Vijay Lakshmi, in connection with the abuse of toddlers. Vijay Lakshmi has been remanded to 14-day police custody following her arrest. Investigators said they found substantial evidence against her, adding that more arrests are likely as the probe progresses. Meanwhile, the National Commission for Protection of Child's Rights have taken suo motu cognizance into the matter. Karnataka Home Minister has said that the government will follow a policy of zero tolerance in the matter.
Whatever it is, they will ask for clarification from the BLO, and we will keep strict vigilance, especially on crucial economic installations. We have to go as per Supreme Court's direction.
Shocking footages showed toddlers being abused inside a corporate daycare center in Bengaluru. For voices which could not speak for themselves, the video spoke volumes. Toddlers were seen being forced into the washing machines. Toilet sprays were also seen being used to silence toddlers. Meanwhile, the whistleblower in the case spoke exclusively to Republic and revealed harrowing details regarding the case.
ऑलरेडी वो तो काम कर रहे हैं बेबी केयर में, वो तो ऐसा प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है। वीडियो वो बच्चे के लिए ऐसा डरा रहा है, मंजुला और उसका साथ में 4 आदमी। मेरे को तो कॉल किया था ऐसा हो रहा है करके, हमें तो बोला ठीक से ऐसा वीडियो करो करके हम बोला है। उसलिए पहले इनको तो उन्होंने अपोजिट लड़ दिया है। क्या बात है लड़ दिया, हमारा मम्मी तो उनको पूछे ऐसा तुम बच्चे के लोग वैसा नहीं करना, अभी किया तो थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा, कुछ को बताए तो पेरेंट्स लोग हुए तो हम ना हल्डाएगा करके बोला तुमको उसमें नहीं चाहिए, तुम आराम से कैसे आ रहा है उसको काम देख के चलो करके बोला। वो पूछ के नेक्स्ट डे मेरा मम्मी को अपोजिट लेटर दिया है, सर तुम काम से नहीं चाहिए करके। उसका हायर ऑफिसर आके बोला है ऐसा ये आंटी ऐसा नहीं है, ठीक है करके वो बोल के अभी तो उनको भी पता नहीं इनको काम से निकाला लिया। ऐसा इंसिडेंट सब भी चल रहा है सर अंदर।
For now, some uncomfortable questions linger. Were enough safeguards put in place? Were warnings about such incidents ignored? Authorities have a responsibility to ensure that not only are the guilty punished, but also that no child in the country has to go through such horror again.
All right, this is all we had for you in this bulletin. Short break coming up. On the other side, the war of words that's panning out between the DMK and the TVK over the issue of Karur stampede. Short break.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डवेयर मसाला।
By the way, viewers, I'm driving in Delhi with Delhi wala boy Aman Gupta, who is too busy waving to his fans than talking to me. Please come down to earth, Aman.
Yes, I am sorry. Sir.
You're on my show.
I forgot.
This is not your show. This is my show. Stop waving to your fans. Be modest. Now everybody look. अरे आप politician हो. आप politician हो. आप ये क्या कर रहे हो? This is too much.
आपने बोला humble हो, मैं humble हो रहा हूँ.
You became very famous during Balika Badhu. At that time, there was a huge amount of fame and focus, right?
There was.
People must be writing about you. The paparazzi would have written about you.
There were no paparazzis at that time.
You're not that old. Don't
No, I mean it. There were no paparazzi.
You were no paparazzi at that time.
There were no paparazzis.
This has happened now? There was no Viral Bayani then?
Back then, it was just,
What do you mean back then? If you keep talking, I'm over a decade older to you. If you keep saying back then I'll stop driving the car here.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean.
What am I then? Back.
This week on Get Me Right, India shows its firm resolve to go after Pakistan-based terror ecosystem with time no bar, as the Jammu and Kashmir police charge sheets Yasin Malik in the 1990 Sarla Bhatt murder case. Second is the politics over the new FCRA guidelines by the Ministry of Home Affairs about convergence or about checkmating anti-India forces. And finally, the third one. Are we staring at the end of globalization as we have known for decades, with the likes of Paul Krugman batting for tariffs, proving Donald Trump right in some measure? Weekend, Saturday and Sunday, only on Republic TV.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा
सबका राजा हार्डवेयर मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाए जीरा से MTH का जलजीरा जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk tonight about an incident where an FIR got registered against 4 people. This is an incident which has happened in Madhya Pradesh, in Ujjain, and there is this strange video which shows a van suspended about 40 feet in the air. And it's suspended with a crane, some kind of a huge big crane. And there are explosives which are put inside this van, and then the van is detonated. Watch this very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. This is apparently during a Muharram procession, where the organizers fill a car with explosives, lift it 40 feet in the air with explosives, put a slogan on the vehicle saying, Le fir aage, which means, look, we are back. And then they explode the van. And at that point of time, there are posters put, there's a lot of mayhem. It's also seen in the video that there are 2 people who are waving red flags before the blast. And the car is detonated mid-air amidst the spectators. There are videos from an Instagram account which also show a young man performing other explosion-related stunts, such as filling a drum with explosives and blasting it. And there are intense explosives used out there. This is all a celebration of explosions. These are not fireworks, let me tell you this, viewers. Now, the police arrested the accused, and there was a procession of the accused also taken out. The accused identified as one Shoaib, Zahid Khan and Taslim. Shoaib organized the event, and Zahid and Taslim were the ones waving the flag while standing on the vehicle before the vehicle was blown up. This is what has happened. And this is the strangest and most dangerous incident that has happened, because we don't know what is the message that they were trying to send by carrying out a car explosion. Please look at these pictures with concern. A crane hoists a car 50 feet into the air and a mock terrorist attack is carried out. A hanging enacted with little purpose connecting the act to the occasion. There was an attempt at some kind of messaging. And ladies and gentlemen, remember what happened in Red Fort. Just 8 months back, there was a blast at Red Fort. And today, 8 months later, some people are celebrating with
Good evening. India's defense story is entering a transformative new era that's powered by indigenous innovation, that's cutting-edge emerging technology and a rapidly expanding defense industrial ecosystem. As the nation accelerates its journey towards strategic self-reliance and the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, Republic brings together the policymakers, the defense leaders, the innovators and industry pioneers shaping the future of national security. Please join us on 18 July in New Delhi for Republic Defence Forces' first conclave, Bharat, the Defence Powerhouse, where the spotlight will be on the next generation military technologies, advanced defence platforms, indigenous capabilities, and the government and industry partnerships that are driving India's technological transformation. Stay tuned for insightful conversations, exclusive perspectives, and the ideas that will define the future of India's defence ecosystem. And we're going to show you shocking stories that we're tracking today. There's back-to-back cases of civic apathy at Light. 2 electrocuted after rain and 1 drowns after falling into open pit. 2 daycare caretakers are arrested for the physical abuse of toddlers at the daycare in Bengaluru. Prime accused is jailed, sent to 14 days custody. DMK versus TVK intensifies in Tamil Nadu. DMK likely to move Supreme Court over TVK minister's comment on Karur stampede. Government orders the removal of controversial apps that are stalling battery vehicles. Apps like BAT-BMS, Lossigy to be removed. First statement by RSS on Ram Mandir theft controversy. RSS says sentiments of the devotees wounded, calls for strict action. Breaking news coming in. Meta is now under scanner for ads that are promoting abuse. Instagram ads promoting child sexual abuse. This is the news that's just coming in and we're breaking it for our viewers. The IT minister has directed officials to summon Meta IT ministry to seek explanation from Meta. Meiti summons Meta over the Instagram child abuse cases. Meta has been asked to explain the shocking Instagram ads. I want to go across to my colleague Harsh joining us on the story. IT ministers have directed officials to summon Meta. What is the next expected action, Harsh?
Right, Rhythm, now these are back-to-back setbacks for Meta. This is now we are seeing the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology asking for explanation from Instagram. Now, Instagram is the company that is owned by Meta. And in fact, this is Ashwini Vaishnaw, the man himself, the minister himself, asking his officials to take decisive action on advertisements that are promoting child sexual abuse here in India. This is through Instagram platform of the Meta app. And now we are seeing that the minister asking his ministry officials to seek explanation from Meta here in India for promoting ads that are promoting child sexual violence and child sexual abuse. A decisive action that we are seeing here in the national capital, that the minister himself has now in fact asked his officials to take some action against the Meta officials for promoting child sexual violence and child sexual abuse on Instagram app. Rhythm.
All right, thank you for giving us those details. It's time that Instagram is also put to notice. Viewers, the other big story, there are 3 tragic deaths in Maharashtra. They are raising serious questions about civic apathy and contractor negligence. I'll begin with Pune. 2-year-old is drowned after falling into a rainwater-filled pit outside his home. The pit was one of the 4 that was dug for drainage and allegedly left open without measures. Police have only booked a contractor. In Mumbai's Mumra, 17-year-old Alia died of electrocution on Wednesday. She came into contact with a live current while walking through a waterlogged stretch near her building's iron gate. Her family says complaints had been given about the voltage fluctuation, but they had been ignored. Police are now booking power officials. And in Nagpur's Tajbagh area, 65-year-old Afroza died instantly from an electric shock while returning from a grocery store. Live currents have spread through water accumulated on the road due to negligence by the municipal corporation again and again. In all 3 cases, residents demand accountability. Let me go across to Revati. Revati, it seems that this is a situation that's going to continue for us to be facing in Maharashtra. Whether we ourselves at Republic TV, when we were reporting also a lot in Mumbai, had faced the same cases. I remember at that time there was a doctor who was known to us who had died when he fell in a pit. Today, again, the same scenes. When is Maharashtra and the government and the municipal corporations really going to get up? Because viewers, we want to explain to you that the municipal corporation in Mumbai is one of the richest bodies, and yet these pitfalls happen again and again, Revati.
Right, so before moving forward, I would like to just highlight one thing, that it's just the different year, but the same situation in Mumbai and in the adjacent districts of Maharashtra, because it is just the first spell of monsoon and the situation has already worsened. So now the question which are being asked by the local residents or the public here is that in the upcoming days where the rains will get denser, the rain will become more harsher, what will be the situation? Because it is just the first spell, and this is the situation where within a span of just 48 to 72 hours there are tragic incidents which have been reported across the Maharashtra, starting with the Navi Mumbai incident where 2 girls were electrocuted and they were just walking back from the school, and second following incident of Mumbai itself is that in Thane's Mumra area where a 17-year-old girl was electrocuted when she was walking on the road, though there were many complaints made about the open wire in that area. No cognizance was taken, and that resulted in the death of 17-year-old Alia. And the most tragic incident was the 11-year-old boy Vihan lost his life when a big tree fell on the school bus. And not only that, but also a coconut tree fell on a 35-year-old person driving a two-wheeler on in Mira Bhayandar road, Mira Bhayandar area, where he succumbed to his injuries after 3 to 4 days after getting medical treatment. And also a tragic incident in Pune where a 2-year-old toddler lost his life after getting drowned in a pit dug for sewage water and rain water. These are the incidents which show the negligence of the authorities, and though there are authorities suspended in various cases, yesterday also we saw a 60-year-old man fell into open drainage because of the lid was open. Though the compensation is given, but is that enough is the question.
So,
what
Revati, and I also want to tell our viewers, 74,000 crore is the budget of the BMC, the Bombay Municipal Corporation. It's not Bombay, it is another word, but that is what it is, the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation. That's combined the budget, viewers, of Bengaluru and Delhi's MCDs. So we're going to take a look at that very closely and hold the MCDs also responsible. The other breaking news that we are tracking, 8 Jaish terrorists have been arrested by Gujarat ATS from Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. These are the 8 Jaish terrorists arrested by the Gujarat ATS, and this arrest is coming of the accused who are associated with the proscribed terror organization Jaish-e-Mohammed from various districts of Gujarat and also Madhya Pradesh. We have my colleague Swarali joining us live on the story. Swarali, if you could give us more details of the Jaish terror modules that have been busted in Gujarat.
Yes, let me tell you, that's true. Total 8 Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists have been arrested in this entire case, and 7 are from Gujarat, 1 is from Madhya Pradesh. From the Devas area, if we talk about who are arrested from Gujarat, 4 from Banaskantha and 1 from Navsari. Now, this is a major crackdown by Gujarat ATS, because let me tell you, the modus operandi which has unfolded in this entire crackdown is that these 8 terrorists were not just involved in disseminating terror, or they were brainwashing other people. They were translating misogynistic content, terrorist content in Gujarati for the content to reach to more and more people. But with that, they were going to be involved in a terror conspiracy, a terror attack, for which they had received 3 lakh rupees fund plus unnamed vehicle. Now let me also tell you, they were in contact with 2 handlers based in Pakistan, Abdullah and Omar. They hailed from Pakistan. There were 254 pieces of literature found from the belongings, maybe laptop or digital equipment of this 8 terrorists. 254 pieces of literature were received, which was anti-Indian, or it was a terrorist literature disseminating hatred against India. And all this content was being translated into Gujarati so that they can create a larger network, a larger nexus of terrorists in the state of Gujarat. Now 7 are being nabbed from Gujarat and 1 from Madhya Pradesh. This comes as a major crackdown, because they were not just brainwashing people, or they were not just aligned with the ideology of Jaish-e-Mohammed.
That's important news that you've given us, and we're going to continue tracking the story. I thank you, Swarali, for joining us with that. Because we're also going to give you a situation in POK that has escalated. That's the breaking news that's coming in also. There's a joint action committee that is announced no further talks with Islamabad, and has called for a shutdown on 5th July in Muzaffarabad. Organizers are also urging supporters to participate in the long march to the POK assembly. According to the statement, protest leaders are encouraging people to rally under the Kashmiri flag, reject Pakistani authority, and frame the movement as a struggle for honor. I'm going to go across to my colleague Gursimran. Gursimran, there are anti-Pak protests escalating in POK. Protesters are saying there are no further talks with Pakistan. What is the latest that you are picking up?
Yes, it has been made clear by the protesters, by the Joint Awami Action Committee, that there will be no more talks with the Pakistan government by the representatives of the Joint Awami Committee after the arrest of Shaukat Nawaz Mir, who was arrested from the Dhir Court.
Clear that there are no intentions of this group that is led by the federal government that has been formed for the talks but has completely failed. They said that the group only want to buy time, and they want to ensure and continue intensified crackdown on Joint Awami Action Committee. And the arrest of Shaukat Nawaz Mir was one such other attempt that was made by this group. So they have said that there is no regard or respect for the talks by the federal government, and that's why they are discontinuing the talks with the government. 5th July is the big day that they have called for. They are saying that this is going to be way bigger than we have seen in 2024-25, and now in the month of June 2026. On 5th of July, they have given the call for the mega march that they are going to hold. And the Muzaffarabad Chalo March still continues. It is an unending march. Yes. That is what the Joint Awami Action Committee has said. They said that the sit-in that is continuing in Ravla Court is just a trailer.
All right, Gursimran, stay with us. We're also going to play the reaction of a protester who says these guns earlier admitting had been given by Pakistan. Listen in.
कहते हैं दहशतगर्द देखिए क्या कहते हैं दहशतगर्द है
मैं इनसे कहता हूँ, आलमी मीडिया की मौजूदगी में कहता हूँ, मैं तमाम इंसानी हकूक की तंजीमों को गवाह बना के कहता हूँ, आप सबकी मौजूदगी में कहता हूँ, कश्मीरियों के हाथ में बंदूक पाकिस्तान की फौज दे दी थी, कश्मीरियों के हाथ में बंदूक भी पाकिस्तान की फौज दे दी और पूरी पाकिस्तान की फौज में, और तुम हमें बताते हो दहशतगर्द कहते हैं, दहशतगर्द। देखिए क्या कहते हैं, दहशतगर्द है। मैं इनसे कहता हूँ, आलमी मीडिया की मौजूदगी में कहता हूँ, मैं तमाम इंसानी हकूक की तंजीमों को गवाह बना के कहता हूँ, आप सबकी मौजूदगी में कहता हूँ, कश्मीरियों के हाथ में बंदूक पाकिस्तान की फौज दे दी थी, कश्मीरियों के हाथ में बंदूक भी पाकिस्तान की फौज दे दी और पूरी पाकिस्तान की फौज में, और तुम हमें बताते हो दहशतगर्द। देखिए क्या कहते हैं, दहशतगर्द है। मैं इनसे कहता हूँ, आलमी मीडिया की मौजूदगी में कहता हूँ, मैं तमाम इंसानी हकूक की तंजीमों को गवाह बना के कहता हूँ, आप सबकी मौजूदगी में कहता हूँ, कश्मीरियों के हाथ में बंदूक पाकिस्तान की फौज दे दी थी, कश्मीरियों के हाथ में बंदूक भी पाकिस्तान की फौज दे दी और पूरी पाकिस्तान की फौज में, और तुम हमें बताते हो दहशतगर्द।
And viewers, scandal rocks Pakistani government. Pakistan Deputy Prime Minister's grandson has been arrested. Pakistan Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq Dar's grandson has been arrested for kidnap and rape of two French Venezuelan women. The grandson had invited the two foreigners and held them captive. This is the big shocking news coming out from Pakistan. We're going to go across to Gursimran to really get more details about this. Gursimran, what are the details that you've picked up? His grandson, the Pakistani Deputy Minister Ishaq Dar's grandson, has been arrested. He is in custody. He's been arrested for the foreign nationals gang rape case in Lahore.
Yes, Rhythm, if you speak of this instance, this has been reported in the last week of June. June 29 was when the two foreign nationals, one from Netherlands and another from Venezuela, they landed on the invitation extended by the grandson of Ishaq Dar, who happens to not only to be the Deputy Prime Minister, but also the Foreign Minister of Pakistan. His grandson, Mohammad Raza Dar, invited both the foreign nationals to Pakistan, and upon landing, they kidnapped them, they gang raped them, and also threatened them of killing them by selling their body parts. This is what the threats they gave. After this, the police, the both foreign nationals gave a written complaint to the police, and the police acted. But in Pakistan, justice is the first casualty when it comes to the high-profile cases, and that has been a trend. Now coming to the backdate history, it was in the last fourth quarter of 2025 when all three of them, along with some of his accomplices, total 5 people have been arrested. They met in Singapore, and since then they were in touch with each other, and showing his influence was what the grandson of Ishaq Dar has been doing for all these 7 months. And then he invited these two foreign nationals to Pakistan, and then the subduction and the gang rape was reported.
It's Gursimran, more infamy for the Pakistan government. I thank you for giving us those details. Viewers, the next story that I'm speaking about is something that's going to be chilling and blood-curdling for any parent. There are toddlers whose voices have been silenced. They couldn't speak for themselves, and yet they were put in the front-loading drum of washing machines. This is what happened at this daycare center in Bengaluru, the daycare horror case as we're calling it today. Toddlers were abused, tortured on camera. 2 of these abused have been arrested. The prime accused, Vijay Lakshmi, has been taken into custody for the abuse of toddlers. Much more needs to be happening. Everybody in Bengaluru and India is outraged and speaking out, but there needs to be the firmest action taken against people who torture children. Take a look at this report.
Investigation into the Bengaluru daycare horror, a case which has enraged the nation, has intensified. Police have arrested 2 women, including prime accused Vijay Lakshmi, in connection with the abuse of toddlers. Vijay Lakshmi has been remanded to 14-day police custody following her arrest. Investigators said they found substantial evidence against her, adding that more arrests are likely as the probe progresses. Meanwhile, the National Commission for Protection of Child's Rights have taken suo motu cognizance into the matter. Karnataka Home Minister has said that the government will follow a policy of zero tolerance in the matter.
Whatever it is, they will ask for clarification from the BLO, and we will keep strict vigilance, especially on crucial economic installations. We have to go as per Supreme Court's direction.
Shocking footages showed toddlers being abused inside a corporate daycare center in Bengaluru. For voices which could not speak for themselves, the video spoke volumes. Toddlers were seen being forced into the washing machines. Toilet sprays were also seen being used to silence toddlers. Meanwhile, the whistleblower in the case spoke exclusively to Republic and revealed harrowing details regarding the case.
ऑलरेडी वो तो काम कर रहे हैं बेबी केयर में, वो तो ऐसा प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है। वीडियो वो बच्चे के लिए ऐसा डरा रहा है, मंजुला और उसका साथ में 4 आदमी। मेरे को तो कॉल किया था ऐसा हो रहा है करके, हमें तो बोला ठीक से ऐसा वीडियो करो करके हम बोले हैं। उसलिए पहले इनको तो उन्होंने अपोजिट लेटर दिया है, क्या बात है लेटर दिया। हमारा मम्मी तो उनको पूछे ऐसा तुम बच्चे के लोग वैसा नहीं करना, अभी किया तो थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा, कुछ को बताए तो पेरेंट्स लोग हुए तो हमने हल्डाएगा करके बोला तुमको उसमें नहीं चाहिए, तुम आराम से कैसे आ रहा है उसको काम देख के चलो करके बोला। वो पूछ के नेक्स्ट डे मेरा मम्मी को अपोजिट लेटर दिया है, सर तुम काम से नहीं चाहिए करके। उसका अब हायर ऑफिसर आके बोला है ऐसा ये आंटी ऐसा नहीं है ठीक है करके, वो बोल के अभी तो उनको भी पता नहीं इनको काम से निकाला लिया। ऐसा इंसिडेंट सब भी चल रहा है सर अंदर।
For now, some uncomfortable questions linger. Were enough safeguards put in place? Were warnings about such incidents ignored? Authorities have a responsibility to ensure that not only are the guilty punished, but also that no child in the country has to go through such horror again.
Back-to-back cases of civic apathy leading to fatalities have been reported with criminal negligence at this centre. Republic TV continues to report from ground zero on the crumbling infrastructure of India's urban cities. We also bring you the update coming in as far as the daycare horror in Bengaluru is concerned, with the key accused being arrested and whistleblower speaking exclusively to Republic TV on the matter. Questions being raised on the SIR process in Karnataka. Also, we bring you all that and much more on Super Prime Time at 7:30 p.m. with me, Rakshita Mishra.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम। AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I said that Bhagwant Man's problem is that in the process of covering up one lie, he is lying a second time. So to cover 2 lies, he lies a 3rd time and a 4th time, and now he's in a big trap. He is doing everything possible to save his job, but it's going to become more and more difficult for him. Plus, I think he has some very foolish advisors. You see, this controversy is about a younger Bhagwant Man. He's about 52 years now, 52 or 53. And the video apparently goes back to the time he was 39 years old. This is a video he's released. Let me first show you the other video, the controversial video. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a picture of Bhagwant Man at the age of 39. And visibly, over the last 13 years, he's aged. There's nothing wrong with that. We all age. But there's a distinct difference in facial appearance. I'd like to show you a picture of Bhagwant Man at present, which is about 52, 53 years old. And Bhagwant Man on the other side at the age of 39, when he was a performer. Well, he is still a performer in a way, but there's a distinct physical difference. A, he's put on a lot of weight. His face is much more puffy. He's older. He's wearing a turban. He was not wearing a turban at that time. Not always, at least. Not always photographed with a turban. And so there's a distinct difference. So if you see the picture of the younger Bhagwant Mann, you'd actually have a blink and miss moment. Is this the same guy, you'd say? We all age, but some people, their appearance changes distinctly between 12 to 13 years. They're almost unrecognizable. And Bhagwant Mann is, fortunately or unfortunately, among those people. Now, what Bhagwant Mann is trying to say is, the guy you see in the pictures, in the sacrilege video, is not me. And he's banking on the fact that he looks different now. Now look at the picture on the left-hand side, the younger Bhagwant Mann. And look at the pictures on the right-hand side, which is the sacrilege video of 2014, 13 years back, of a younger Bhagwant Mann. And now they look much more similar, don't they? In fact, the more you go close up, you'll find it's probably the same guy. Now, Bhagwant Mann's argument can be privately to some people that if I did something sacrilegious 13 years back, why is it being picked up now? His detractors say it doesn't matter. You did something very bad. Now, to cover himself up, I'll go to the second set of pictures now.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
By the way, viewers, I'm driving in Delhi with Delhi wala boy Aman Gupta, who is too busy waving to his fans than talking to me. Please come down to earth, Aman.
Yes, I am sorry.
You're on my show.
I forgot.
This is not your show. This is my show. Stop waving to your fans. Be modest. Now everybody look. अरे आप politician हो. आप politician हो. आप ये क्या कर रहे हो? This is too much.
आपने बोला humble हो, मैं humble हो रहा हूँ.
You became very famous during Balika Badhu. At that time, there was a huge amount of fame and focus. Right? There was. People must be writing about you. The paparazzi would have written about you.
There were no paparazzis at that time.
You're not that old. Don't
No, I mean it. There were no paparazzis.
You were no paparazzi at that time.
There were no paparazzis.
This has happened now? There was no Viral Bayani then?
Back then, it was just,
What do you mean back then? If you keep talking, I'm over a decade older to you. If you keep saying back then I'll stop driving the car here.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean...
What am I then? Back then. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I said that Bhagwant Mann's problem is that in the process of covering up one lie, he is lying a second time. So to cover two lies, he lies a third time and a fourth time. And now he's in a big trap. He is doing everything possible to save his job. But it's going to become more and more difficult for him. Plus, I think he has some very foolish advisors. You see, this controversy is about a younger Bhagwant Mann. He's about 52 years now, 52 or 53. And the video apparently goes back to the time he was 39 years old. This is a video he's released. Let me first show you the other video, the controversial video. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a picture of Bhagwant Mann at the age of 39. And visibly, over the last 13 years, he's aged. There's nothing wrong with that. We all age. But there's a distinct difference in facial appearance. I'd like to show you a picture of Bhagwant Mann at present, which is about 52, 53 years old. And Bhagwant Mann on the other side at the age of 39, when he was a performer. Well, he is still a performer in a way. But there's a distinct physical difference. A, he's put on a lot of weight. His face is much more puffy. He's older. He's wearing a turban. He was not wearing a turban at that time. Not always, at least. Not always photographed with a turban. And so there's a distinct difference. So if you see the picture of the younger Bhagwant Mann, you'd actually have a blink and miss moment. Is this the same guy, you'd say? We all age. But some people, their appearance changes distinctly between
12 to 13 years, they're almost unrecognizable.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Republic TV. I'm Gesu Bharadwaj. And on one hand, the RSS has now responded to the Ram Mandir embezzlement case. And on the other, come monsoon, and with it comes the testimony of India's collapsing, almost crushing urban infrastructure. Various case studies have come forward from Maharashtra and Gujarat. Fatalities have been reported and near-death accidents have been escaped by just an inch by residents of these areas. Now the question is, will the government wake up? And if it will, when will it wake up? Now we're getting you the headlines first, and then we take a look at the stories. Back-to-back cases of civic apathy come to light. 2 electrocuted after rain and 1 drowns after falling into an open pit. 2 daycare caretakers arrested for allegedly physically abusing toddlers at a daycare in Bengaluru. Prime accused has now been sent to a 14-day custody. DMK versus TVK intensifies in Tamil Nadu. DMK likely to move Supreme Court over TVK minister's comment on the Karur stampede. Government orders removal of controversial apps stalling battery vehicles. Apps like BAT-BMS or Lossigy to be removed. First statement by RSS on Ram Mandir theft controversy. RSS says sentiments of the devotees have been wounded and calls for strict action. And viewers, starting first with the breaking development that's coming in the Ram Mandir embezzlement case. The RSS has now responded in its first statement. The RSS General Secretary says that the sentiments of those who are believers have been completely dented. The sentiments of the devotees have been dented. And in fact, RSS has now called for a strict action, saying those who are guilty should be brought to complete justice. That's the first statement that's coming in from the RSS over the Ram Mandir embezzlement case. Remember, 7 arrests have been made. In fact, houses are being raided of the accused across Ayodhya. In fact, Ayodhya police has also asked for the Enforcement Directorate to be pressed in for a speedy probe. And in fact, that decision has been shouldered on Uttar Pradesh's DIG, who is yet to give a final decision on whether or not the Enforcement Directorate will be roped in for a faster probe. But now the RSS has issued its first statement. Let's listen into the RSS General Secretary.
दान पात्रों में जमा राशि की चोरी के दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना से समूचे समाज और राम भक्तों को भावना एवं श्रद्धा को आघात पहुंचा है तथा इस घटना से हम सभी आहत हैं। श्री राम जन्मभूमि तीर्थ क्षेत्र न्यास के आग्रहपूर्वक निवेदन पर उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार ने विशेष जांच दल का गठन कर उसकी अनुशंसा पर कानूनी प्रक्रिया प्रारंभ की है। जांच में जो भी दोषी पाए जाएंगे उन्हें कठोर दंड हो यह सुनिश्चित करना आवश्यक है। राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ सहित संपूर्ण हिंदू समाज की न्यास से स्वाभाविक ही अपेक्षा है कि इस घोर निंदनीय घटना को असाधारण मानकर गंभीरता से व्यवस्था एवं संचालन की सभी कमियों को दूर करने हेतु परिणामकारक कदम उठाए ताकि अयोध्या मंदिर पर करोड़ों राम भक्तों की आस्था व श्रद्धा अखंड एवं अटूट बनी रहे।
And now shifting focus. The situation in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir is escalating and getting more and more tense. Now a group has been formed and they have announced a shutdown on the 5th of July, a joint action committee that will in fact march towards the POK assembly with the Kashmiri flag. They have also rejected any further dialogue with Islamabad. They have said they will not come to the table to discuss or have any further talks with Islamabad. In fact, a long march has been planned to the POK assembly on the 5th of July, and this will start from Muzaffarabad. Now, as per the statement, protest leaders are encouraging people to rally under the Kashmiri flag, reject the Pakistani authority, and frame the movement as a struggle for honor, identity, and survival. So, protests that began in POK about 3 weeks back are only swelling further. Anti-Pakistan protest escalates as protesters are now calling for an absolute shutdown of Muzaffarabad, which is in a Pakistan-occupied Kashmir on the 5th of July. Not just that, the organizers have also urged the protesters to march under the Kashmiri flag and reject the Pakistani authority. They have called this movement a struggle for honor, identity, and survival. Listen into the visuals that are coming in from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir.
तमाम इंसानी हकूक की तंजीमों को गवाह बना के कहता हूँ, आप सबकी मौजूदगी में कहता हूँ, कश्मीरियों के हाथ में बंदूक पाकिस्तान की फौज दे दी थी, कश्मीरियों के हाथ में बंदूक भी पाकिस्तान की फौज दे दी और तुम भी पाकिस्तान की फौज में, और तुम हमें बताते हो हम दहशतगर्द कहते हैं, दहशतगर्द। देखिए क्या कहते हैं, दहशतगर्द है। मैं इनसे कहता हूँ, आलमी मीडिया की मौजूदगी में कहता हूँ, मैं तमाम इंसानी हकूक की तंजीमों को गवाह बना के कहता हूँ, आप सबकी मौजूदगी में कहता हूँ, कश्मीरियों के हाथ में बंदूक पाकिस्तान की फौज दे दी थी, कश्मीरियों के हाथ में बंदूक भी पाकिस्तान की फौज दे दी और तुम भी पाकिस्तान की फौज में, और तुम हमें बताते हो हम दहशतगर्द।
Gursimran, my colleague, joins us live on the broadcast. Gursimran, a major revelation that is coming out of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The protests are intensifying, yes, but they have now said on record that they were handed guns by the Pakistani military. That's now in turn calling them terrorists. Talk to us about where the situation is headed in POK. Gursimran.
Gisu, if we speak of the present situation that is in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, all the doors for the talks have been shut by the Joint Awami Action Committee. They have said that these talks, the time that has been brought for the talks by the Pakistani federal government, that was just to carry out more atrocities on the leadership of the Joint Awami Action Committee. This decision was taken after the arrest of Shaukat Nawaz Mir, who was arrested while he was heading from the Adhir Court to Ravla Court to take part in the protest, the sit-in protests that are taking place. It's been over 25 days now that the protesters have been sitting here in Ravla Court. Now coming to the statement that has been made by the protesters, that it is the Pakistani establishment and the army that gave them weapons. That is the reality, because what people of POJK were told by the Pakistan establishment, that India is their enemy, India is doing atrocities on the people of Kashmir, and they have to take up arms to take revenge. On the name of jihad and sending mujahids to Jammu and Kashmir, they gave weapons to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. But the reality is that has come out during the investigation of the many cases, that when terrorists came to this side of the border, they saw that the people in Jammu and Kashmir, they are living the languished life, while on the other side they are suffering for the basic rights. This time Pakistan is also rattled, for the reason being that this time the protest by the people of Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir is not for the electricity, for the subsidy, but this is for the democratic rights which Pakistan is actually afraid of, and that is why we are witnessing the level of atrocities has been scaled to a next level against the people of Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Gesu.
Right, Gursimran, thanks for getting us those details. In fact, continue being with us, Gursimran. We're also getting in some more breaking development. This time around, it also comes from Pakistan. The Deputy Prime Minister's grandson, Ishaq Dar's grandson, Raza Dar, has been arrested and produced before a court in Lahore over allegations of a foreign national's gang rape case in Lahore. Now, Raza Dar, who is the prime suspect, is also linked to Ishaq Dar, which is Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister. Now, the suspects, along with him, 5 others, have been named for raping and even kidnapping Venezuelan and French women at gunpoint. Now, another scandal that's rocked the Pakistan government. Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister's grandson, Raza Dar, has been arrested and even produced before a court for an alleged rape of foreign nationals. In fact, this case, as it gets revealed, is becoming more and more grim, more gory. The details say that the two foreign nationals, were raped by a gang of men, at least 6 men, including Raza Dar, at gunpoint. In fact, the FIR also reveals multiple details about the case. In fact, the two women were recorded and blackmailed in compromising conditions. The complaint has been filed by two foreign nationals, one woman who hails from Venezuela. And in fact, this is about Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister's grandson who's been arrested. Now, Gursimran continues being with us on the story. Gursimran, speak to us about the details of the FIR. You know, these are horrific details that have come forward. The testimony of the two victims that has been detailed in the FIR registered with the Lahore police. Gursimran.
So since it is a case involving the foreign woman, they dare to speak against the top leader, one of the relative of the top leader of Pakistan. Otherwise, when it comes to Pakistan, justice is the first casualties in such high-profile cases, especially those who are part of the establishment in Pakistan. Now coming to this incident, this has been reported on 29th of June when this women, two women, one from Venezuela and other from Netherlands, they landed in Pakistan and then they were abducted, they were forcibly raped and even threatened of killing them, selling their organs, and the FIR got registered only when these women came out to speak in open. It's been 4 days, and in the 4 days, all the 5 accused, including Raza Dar, Mohammad Raza Dar, who happens to be the grandson of Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Ishaq Dar, he has also been apprehended. This all started from their visit. He, along with his some business associates, went to Singapore in the last quarter of 2025, and there they got in touch with these two women. They were in touch over the phone and the social media through all this, and using his influence over all these months, he got them to Pakistan. Even some arrangements were also made to ease their movement to Pakistan, and when they reached Pakistan, they were abducted, and as per their allegation, they were raped. Now all the accused have been arrested as per the statement that has come from the Lahore police, but it has to be seen that how things pan out from here, because both the victims are foreign nationals and all accused are from the high-class background, including the grandson of Ishaq Dar.
Right,
so it has to be seen how things pan out during investigation.
Definitely. Thanks very much for giving us a detailed lowdown on this, Gursimran. For now, viewers, we'll be shifting focus and tracking other stories, especially the one that's coming in from Gujarat. Now, viewers, 8 Jaish terrorists have been arrested by the anti-terror squad in Gujarat. In fact, we have accessed the details of the 8 terrorists. They have been arrested from Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. Incriminating material has also been seized from the accused terrorists. 8 Jaish terrorists that have been nabbed by the Gujarat anti-terror squad, who are accused of association with proscribed terror organization Jaish-e-Mohammed. In fact, we have also accessed the names and the photographs of these 8 terrorists and will play them just in a bit. 8 Jaish terrorists who've been arrested by Gujarat anti-terror squad. Now, my colleague Swarali also joins us live with more details on the matter. Swarali, speak to us about this arrest that's been made. 8 Jaish terrorists have been arrested from within the borders of the country.
Yes, that's true. In a major crackdown by Gujarat ATF, 8 terrorists linked with Jaish-e-Mohammed banned outfits involved in separatist activities have been arrested. 7 from Gujarat, 1 from Madhya Pradesh respectively. Let me tell you, 4 of this were from Patan, 2 from Banaskantha, 1 from Navsari, and 1 from Devas area of Madhya Pradesh. If we talk about the age range is 18 from 22, which clearly signifies that this is a young brigade of terrorists. And important thing to be noted over here is why this is a major crackdown, because they were not just involved in disseminating information, brainwashing people, but they were also involved in a conspiracy, a terrorist conspiracy attack to be hatched in the state of Gujarat, and for that they had received 3 lakh rupees. They were funded one unnamed vehicle, and they were in touch with two handlers from Pakistan, Mohammed and Umar. Now, let me also tell you that they had created a group called Darul Islam in Gujarat. They were translating all the literature. 254 pieces of literature, may it be speeches or books written by Masood Hazar, has been seized from the belongings, laptops, mobile phones of these 8 terrorists. They had created a group and they were hatching a conspiracy, not just expanding the nexus, but a terrorist attack. So this has resulted in a major crackdown by Gujarat ATF. And after the interrogation of these 8 terrorists who are in the command of ATS right now, after the investigation, there might unfold an expansion of entire nexus, which was under the loop. Also, they were in touch with Pakistani handlers. This has been proved with the phone lines or the way they were communicating. They were disseminating information through various social media platforms, and an application called Nord Locker was also seized from their digital equipment. Back to you.
Right, Swarali, thanks for getting us all the information. Now, viewers, shifting focus to what's been happening in Bengaluru. The police have sprung into action in the Bengaluru daycare horror case. Now, in fact, the prime accused of the case, Vijay Lakshmi, has been sent to about 14 days of police custody. Not just that, the other women caretakers have also been identified and are under a severe probe by the Bengaluru police right now as we speak. This daycare facility was being run by a private IT company called Cape Gemini. They've also given out their statement, and they have for now temporarily shut the services of daycare where this horrific incident, where students, in fact toddlers aged 2 to 3 years, were being mistreated, physically abused and also tortured to be kept in control. Now, in fact, first we have this report. Take a look at this and then we get into the details.
Investigation into the Bengaluru daycare horror, a case which has enraged the nation, has intensified. Police have arrested 2 women, including prime accused Vijay Lakshmi, in connection with the abuse of toddlers. Vijay Lakshmi has been remanded to 14-day police custody following her arrest. Investigators said they found substantial evidence against her, adding that more arrests are likely as the probe progresses. Meanwhile, the National Commission for Protection of Child's Rights have taken suo motu cognizance into the matter. Karnataka Home Minister has said that the government will follow a policy of zero tolerance in the matter.
Whatever it is, they will ask for clarification from the BLO, and we will keep strict vigilance, especially on crucial economic installations. We have to go as per Supreme Court's direction.
Shocking footages showed toddlers being abused inside a corporate daycare center in Bengaluru. For voices which could not speak for themselves, the video spoke volumes. Toddlers were seen being forced into the washing machines. Toilet sprays were also seen being used to silence toddlers. Meanwhile, the whistleblower in the case spoke exclusively to Republic and revealed harrowing details regarding the case.
ऑलरेडी वो तो काम कर रहे हैं बेबी केयर में, वो तो ऐसा प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है। वीडियो वो बच्चे के लिए ऐसा डरा रहा है, मंजुला और उसका साथ में 4 आदमी। मेरे को तो कॉल किया था ऐसा हो रहा है करके, हमें तो बोला ठीक से ऐसा वीडियो करो करके हम बोला है। उसलिए पहले इनको तो उन्होंने अपोजिट लड़ दिया है। क्या बात है लड़ दिया, हमारा मम्मी तो उनको पूछे ऐसा तुम बच्चे लोग वैसा नहीं करना, अभी किया तो थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा, कुछ को बताए तो पेरेंट्स लोग बोले तो हम ना हल्डाएगा करके बोला तुमको उसमें नहीं चाहिए, तुम आराम से कैसा आ रहा उसको काम देख के चलो करके बोला। वो पूछ के नेक्स्ट डे मेरा मम्मी को अपोजिट लेटर दिया है, सर तुम काउंसलर नहीं चाहिए करके। उसका अब हायर ऑफिसर आके बोला है ऐसा ये आंटी ऐसा नहीं है ठीक है करके, वो बोल के अभी तो उनको भी पता नहीं इनको काम से निकाला लिया। ऐसा इंसिडेंट सब भी चल रहा है सर अंदर।
For now, some uncomfortable questions linger. Were enough safeguards put in place? Were warnings about such incidents ignored? Authorities have a responsibility to ensure that not only are the guilty punished, but also that no child in the country has to go through such horror again.
And now, viewers, shifting focus. The intensifying battle between the Government of India and Meta has reached another step now. And this time around, it is over advertisements that are promoting child sexual abuse on Instagram. The IT Ministry has taken full cognizance. In fact, the Minister for Information Technology and Information Bureau, Ashwini Vaishnav, has asked for his team to take full hold of the entire case. In fact, officials have been directed to summon Meta, the parent company that owns the social media platform Instagram, where these alleged child abuse ads were being promoted. Now, in fact, the IT Minister has also asked for Meta to provide a detailed explanation over these obscene, illegal ads that were promoting child sexual abuse on the social media platform Instagram. Now, in fact, my colleague Harsh also joins us live with more details on the matter. Harsh, speak to us about the details of the case. This is another battle that the Indian government is now going to fight against Meta over ads that are promoting child sexual abuse. Harsh.
Right, Gesu, now back-to-back troubles mounting in for Meta here in India. We know earlier the Ministry of Information Technology summoned WhatsApp for its username features, and now we are seeing the minister himself, in fact the Minister of Information Technology, Ashwini Vaishnav, asking his officials to summon Instagram officials for promoting child sexual abuse and child sexual violence through advertisement on Instagram. Now, Instagram is a company that is run by Meta, and now Meta officials have been summoned by the Ministry of Information Technology. The minister himself have asked his officials to take strict action against officials because this is a case of child sexual abuse, child sexual violence that is being promoted on Instagram through advertisements. And now we are seeing big decisive action taken by the Government of India. In fact, the minister himself taking cognizance of the matter and asking his officials to take some action on Meta officials here in India. Gesu.
In fact, viewers are now shifting focus and tracking other stories at this hour. The one that's coming in from Tehran. Now, in fact, Tehran is making final preparations for the funeral of the slain Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Now, in fact, they have extended invitations to various leaders across the globe, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They've also extended an invitation to Mehbooba Mufti, who has said that she will be attending. Now, millions of mourners are expected to frolic to Iran to pay their last respects as they pay a final farewell to the slain Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Take a look at this.
Tehran is making final preparations for the funeral of Iran's late Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, with millions of mourners expected to attend ceremonies beginning Saturday.
انتظار میره بین 15 تا 20 میلیون زائر سطح تهران داشته باشیم که هم روز ودا و روز تشییع انشالله در حد توانمون خدمت بکنیم و پذیرای مهمانای عزیز از کل سطح کشور هستیم.
Volunteers across the capital are setting up tents, temporary facilities to accommodate visitors arriving from across Iran. Khamenei's coffin, draped in Iranian flag, was carried into Tehran's Grand Musalla as religious leaders, officials and foreign dignitaries paid their respects. Authorities are preparing extensive security measures and plan to shut down the major roads, airspace and public services during the days-long funeral. The city has been decorated with large portraits of Khamenei and other senior Iranian figures ahead of the public ceremony. Supporters say Khamenei's death will not alter Iran's political direction, insisting the country's policies will continue under its leadership. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has also departed for Tehran to attend the funeral, joining other foreign dignitaries expected to pay tribute to Iran's longtime leader. Iran is finally ready to pay its final goodbye to one of their most charismatic leaders, that is Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
And that's all that we could wrap for you in this edition of Live and Breaking on Republic TV. Thanks very much for staying with us. Don't go anywhere. On the other side, we're also tracking the story of how the government has now moved to place a ban on controversial battery stalling apps like BAT-BMS. And we're getting you all the details on the other side.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ। सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से, MTH का जलजीरा जीरा से।
जीरा सिप, असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MTH।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार, विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े, चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I said that Bhagwant Man's problem is that in the process of covering up one lie, he is lying a second time. So to cover 2 lies, he lies a third time and a fourth time, and now he's in a big trap. He is doing everything possible to save his job, but it's going to become more and more difficult for him. Plus, I think he has some very foolish advisors. You see, this controversy is about a younger Bhagwant Mann. He's about 52 years now, 52 or 53. And the video apparently goes back to the time he was 39 years old. This is a video he's released. Let me first show you the other video, the controversial video. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a picture of Bhagwant Mann at the age of 39. And visibly, over the last 13 years, he's aged. There's nothing wrong with that. We all age. But there's a distinct difference in facial appearance. I'd like to show you a picture of Bhagwant Mann at present, which is about 52, 53 years old. And Bhagwant Mann on the other side at the age of 39, when he was a performer. Well, he is still a performer in a way, but there's a distinct physical difference. A, he's put on a lot of weight. His face is much more puffy. He's older. He's wearing a turban. He was not wearing a turban at that time, not always at least.
Today, we get you news of Iran mourning Khamenei, the Venezuelan deadly earthquakes. We also get you the bigger picture where Kyiv has been under attack. All this at 6:30 p.m. today.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ। सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाई जीरा से MTH का जलजीरा जीरा से
जीरा सिप असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MTH
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े, चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
By the way, viewers, I'm driving in Delhi with Delhi wala boy Aman Gupta, who is too busy waving to his fans than talking to me. Please come down to earth, Aman.
Yes, I am sorry.
You're on my show.
I forgot.
This is not your show. This is my show. Stop waving to your fans. Be modest. Now everybody look. अरे आप politician हो. आप politician हो. आप ये क्या कर रहे हो? This is too much.
आपने बोला humble हो, मैं humble हो रहा हूँ।
You became very famous during Balika Badhu. At that time, there was a huge amount of fame and focus, right?
There was.
People must be writing about you. The paparazzi would have written about you.
There were no paparazzis at that time.
You're not that old. Don't
No, I mean it. There were no paparazzi.
You were no paparazzi at that time.
There were no paparazzis.
This has happened now?
This is
There were.
Good evening, welcome to Our Global. We begin this edition of Our Global by giving you news of Tehran's heightened alert as preparations intensify for the funeral of Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who had died on 28th of February. Large crowds have gathered. Foreign dignitaries are arriving in the capital for the solemn ceremonies. In addition, we're going to report on the Russian missile and drone strikes on Kyiv, and we're also going to tell you about the escalation that's happening in Ukraine versus the Russia. The war continues there. And at last we take a look into how acting President Delcy Rodriguez defended the government's response to devastating twin earthquakes while international rescue teams continue searching through rubble, with the death toll reported at around 2,295 and over 11,000 injured. We take a look first at our top headlines. Tehran is preparing for the funeral of Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei as millions of mourners, foreign dignitaries gather for the final farewell. Russian strikes on Kyiv again making headlines. They've killed certain 25 people. Rescue operations continue. Tensions have escalated. Venezuela defends earthquake response as the death toll rises above 2,300. International rescue efforts continue. And India reaffirms suspension of Indus Water Treaty. Pakistan calls the move illegal as tensions escalate over the water sharing. And India has clarified there's going to be no talks with terror. Tehran is making final preparations for the funeral of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Thousands of supporters of the slain leader have begun the preparations. Volunteers are setting up tents. There are facilities. Authorities are enforcing heavy security, major road closures. There are foreign dignitaries who are paying respect to the flag-draped coffin that lies at the Grand Musalla. Supporters say Iran's policies will continue unchanged.
Tehran is making final preparations for the funeral of Iran's late Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, with millions of mourners expected to attend ceremonies beginning Saturday.
انتظار میره بین 15 تا 20 میلیون زائر سطح تهران داشته باشیم که روز ودا و روز تشییع انشالله در حد توانمون خدمت بکنیم و پذیرای مهمانای عزیز از کل سطح کشور هستیم.
Volunteers across the capital are setting up tents, temporary facilities to accommodate visitors arriving from across Iran. Khamenei's coffin, draped in Iranian flag, was carried into Tehran's Grand Musalla as religious leaders, officials, and foreign dignitaries paid their respects. Authorities are preparing extensive security measures and plan to shut down the major roads, airspace, and public services during the days-long funeral. The city has been decorated with large portraits of Khamenei and other senior Iranian figures ahead of the public ceremony. Supporters say Khamenei's death will not alter Iran's political direction, insisting the country's policies will continue under its leadership. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has also departed for Tehran to attend the funeral, joining other foreign dignitaries expected to pay tribute to Iran's longtime leader. Iran is finally ready to pay its final goodbye to one of their most charismatic leaders, that is Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
I'm joined by Prabhu Dayal, former Indian Deputy Ambassador to Iran. Prabhu Dayal, as I welcome you, a very good evening, Mr. Dayal, to you. Khamenei was the supreme leader during his tenure. We've seen what's been happening, and you were also present when Khamenei was the leader. The big question, how is Iran going to now move forward? We're seeing there is a leadership crisis there. He is expected to be buried, but the message that's also coming from the speaker there, sir, that we're going to avenge the death of Khamenei. It's very important to understand that the Iranians as a race do not forgive. How are we looking at this, sir?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on your show. You rightly pointed out that I served in Iran as deputy to the ambassador. And Ayatollah Ali Khamenei had become the supreme leader just 2 years before I arrived in Iran. He became supreme leader in 1989. And continued till his recent assassination. Now, you're right in saying that the Iranians are not forgiving people. And the tensions in the Middle East will perhaps take a pause, but the Iranians cannot be expected to forgive what has happened to their supreme leader. There is a great deal of anguish within the country, and therefore, we should be prepared for any resumption of hostilities. Of course, we are all hoping and praying that these hostilities don't start again and that there is some kind of a peace. But as you rightly pointed out, with the Iranian establishment, you can never say what their thinking and plan of action is going to be.
Yes, as we're continuing this talk, Mr. Dayal, I want to tell our viewers Tehran is preparing for the funeral. Those are live visuals that are coming in. And it's also very clear that millions are going to be expected into mourning. Now, India has decided also, Mr. Dayal, to send an official delegation to Ayatollah Khamenei's funeral. What is the message that we are sending out? Because I think it's fantastic, our relations with Tehran, with Israel, they continue side by side. How is India going to balance this out further?
Well, I think the composition of the delegation does take into account the need to balance the long historical ties with Iran on one hand and India's strategic requirements on the other. I think the composition of the delegation has been very, very suitably tailored, keeping in mind these different requirements, that is to say, our strategic requirements on one hand and the ties with Iran on the other. We have a very senior person like Mr. Syed Ata Hossain, who is the senior-most Shia public official in India. He holds the post of governor of Bihar. And then we have the Minister of State, Mr. Pavitra Margarita. So it's a very high-level delegation. Of course, I have read reports in the media that people are saying, well, Prime Minister should have gone. You know, the Prime Minister has a whole lot of other commitments, including a foreign visit to Indonesia, Australia, and New Zealand, which commences in the next couple of days. And then, of course, there are certain requirements of domestic needs. So the Prime Minister cannot really be expected to set everything aside and just go on this visit, but he made it a point to send a very high-level delegation, and I think a delegation which is very appropriate for this particular purpose. We have the senior-most Shia public official, who's a very distinguished army veteran, Lieutenant General. And on the other hand, we also have a very senior, high-ranking minister from the External Affairs Ministry. So all said and done, it's a very suitably tailored delegation.
Yes, I thank you, Mr. Dayal, for joining us from your perspective. It's a top focus story we'll continue tracking. Viewers, the other top focus stories, there's emergency crews in Ukraine that are searching through the ruble after a deadly attack on the country in the recent months in Kyiv. The overnight assault involved drones. It left certain people dead. Fresh strikes in another region that's been there. There have been more civilians killed. Moscow has said the attacks are a retaliation for Ukraine's recent long-range strikes deep inside Russian territory. Take a look.
Rescue teams in Kyiv worked through the night and into the Friday, combing through the ruins of residential building devastated by a massive Russian missile and drone assault. The 11-hour bombardment killed at least 21 civilians in the Ukrainian capital and injured dozens more. Air raid sirens echoed across the city as powerful explosions rocked Kyiv, forcing more than 50,000 residents to seek shelter inside subway stations. In the Sumy region, a Russian drone slammed into a residential building, killing 4 people, including a 20-month-old girl, and injuring 3 others. In Kharkiv, another drone strike hit homes in the town of Lozova, injuring 6 members of the same family. Among them were children aged 1, 6 and 10. Authorities say the 10-year-old girl remains in critical condition. Russia's defense ministry claimed the strikes were a direct response to Ukraine's recent wave of long-range attacks on Russian territory as Ukraine intensified strikes on oil refineries and fuel infrastructure inside Russia.
Утром сегодня во время, собственно, ежедневного доклада Верховному главнокомандующему начальник Генштаба Герасимов также доложил о результатах массированного ответного удара вооруженных сил Российской Федерации по Киеву, другим населенным пунктам в контексте ударов, конечно же, исключительно по военным или околовоенным объектам.
A campaign president Zelensky has described as a sustained blitz aimed at weakening Moscow's war machine and also a consequence of waging war with Ukraine.
Прямий наслідок війни. Один із наслідків. І один із прикладів того, як відповідає Україна. Влучно, не терористично ми повертаємо реальність війни в Росію і робимо максимально складним продовження окупації нашої землі.
As both sides intensify long-range attacks far from the front lines, civilians continue to bear the brunt of an escalating conflict with no immediate signs of de-escalation.
Viewers, the other top focus, Venezuela's acting president Delcy Rodriguez has defended the government's response to the devastating twin attacks. She's thanked assistance from the United States, Dominican Republic, Mexico and Israel while highlighting support from President Donald Trump and Marco Rubio. 8 days after the disaster, rescue efforts continue amid the rubble as the death toll has claimed at least 2,300 lives.
Venezuela's acting president Rodriguez has defended the government's earthquake response, insisting rescue operations began immediately and rejecting criticism of delays. Rodriguez thanked international rescue teams for the United States, the Dominican Republic, Mexico and Israel for assisting search and rescue efforts.
Agradezco, los primeros rescatistas en llegar al país vinieron de República Dominicana, de los Estados Unidos de Norteamérica. Agradezco al gobierno del presidente Donald Trump, al secretario Marco Rubio permanentemente, atentos, ofreciendo apoyo. Agradezco a la presidenta de México. Le dije, presidenta, su país es un país sísmico y yo sé que usted cuenta con equipos especializados. Por favor, envíenos rescatistas. Gracias a los rescatistas de México, llegaron del ejército de México a prestar apoyo a Venezuela.
Officials say 189 buildings have completely collapsed, with the worst damage reported in La Guara following the twin earthquakes. 8 days after the disaster, international rescue teams are still using search dogs and life detection radar to look for survivors beneath the rubble.
Eran 6 personas, 2 adultos y 4 niños. Uno de los adultos que estaba vivo, lo conseguí vivo y habló conmigo. Y me dijo que los gemelos se habían muerto en el instante, se había muerto la mamá y se habían muerto los hijos de él. Y después, como a las 3 horas, intentaron sacarlo a él y él se murió también.
Brazilian firefighters say they detected possible signs of life earlier, but have yet to confirm any survivors during the last search. The earthquakes have killed at least 2,295 people and injured more than 11,000, with thousands left homeless as rescue and recovery efforts continue.
Tensions have now between India and Pakistan again escalated because India says the Indus Water Treaty, we reiterate the agreement is in abeyance after Operation Sindoor in response to what it calls Pakistan's continued cross-border terrorism. The Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal said India's position on the treaty is consistent, adding Pakistan must readily and irrevocably abjure its support for terrorism.
Siddhant, your question regarding IWT, I would reiterate what we have said earlier as well. India's position on the Indus Waters Treaty is consistent. IWT stands in abeyance in response to Pakistan's continued sponsorship of cross-border terrorism. Pakistan must credibly and irrevocably abjure its support for cross-border terrorism. Siddhant, your question regarding IWT, I would reiterate what we have said earlier as well. India's position on the Indus Waters Treaty is consistent. IWT stands in abeyance in response to Pakistan's continued sponsorship of cross-border terrorism. Pakistan must credibly and irrevocably abjure its support for cross-border terrorism. Siddhant, your question regarding IWT, I would reiterate what we have said earlier as well. India's position on the Indus Waters Treaty is consistent. IWT stands in abeyance in response to Pakistan's continued sponsorship of cross-border terrorism. Pakistan must credibly and irrevocably abjure its support for cross-border terrorism.
China has today cautioned that bilateral cooperation should not target any third party. They've reacted to the India-Japan summit that was extremely successful. Beijing has said partnerships on critical minerals must not harm other interests. Remember, viewers, the remarks are coming a day after India and Japan voiced serious concern over the East and South China Seas and opposed unilateral moves to change the status quo. This is the big breaking news coming in and extremely crucial to understand. This is coming on the back heels of successful Indo-Japan summit that has been held in India. Sanai Takichi was here, and China is now trying to give out a reaction following India and Japan expressing serious concerns over the East and South China Seas, where both nations firmly opposed any unilateral moves by anyone to alter the status quo. That's all the other time we have for in the Republic Global Bulletin. News and updates continue. Thank you for being with us.
R प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार प्योर मसाला।
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है, स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ।
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है, अरे मेरे राजा।
सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाए जीरा से, MTH का जल जीरा जीरा से।
जीरा सिर्फ असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े, चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
को पावर्ड बाय क्रिस्टल क्रॉप प्रोटेक्शन, देश का किसान देश का हीरो।
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I said that Bhagwant Man's problem is that in the process of covering up one lie, he is lying a second time. So to cover two lies, he lies a third time and a fourth time, and now he's in a big trap. He is doing everything possible to save his job, but it's going to become more and more difficult for him. Plus, I think he has some very foolish advisors. You see, this controversy is about a younger Bhagwant Man.
An attempt to give infiltrators a backdoor entry into the SIR exercise that is being held in Karnataka. If not, why are the visuals from Karnataka of SIR being conducted inside wedding halls, inside mosques and at public places? BLOs are on record, caught red-handed, breaking the door-to-door campaign rule. There are more coming up at 7 p.m. on This Is Exclusive.
Back-to-back cases of civic apathy leading to fatalities have been reported with criminal negligence at this centre. Republic TV continues to report from ground zero on the crumbling infrastructure of India's urban cities. We also bring you the update coming in as far as the daycare horror in Bengaluru is concerned, with the key accused being arrested and whistleblower speaking exclusively to Republic TV on the matter. Questions being raised on the SIR process in Karnataka. Also, we bring you all that and much more on Super Prime Time at 7:30 p.m. with me, Rakshita Mishra.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम। AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े, चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है? आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट, स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।